live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Neves brings it down on the volley. Oh, you must be kidding me! Ruben Neves has just struck a sensational goal. Oh, it's turned in. It's the underdog Doctor who arrives. Oh, the brilliant Belgian in the right place at the right time. Calls it all. That's unbelievable. Jean Martinho has whipped it into the far top corner. Can you believe this?
A very good afternoon and welcome to Matchday Live Extra from Wolves TV. I'm Mikey Burrows. Alongside me at Selhurst Park, as ever, is the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson, and joining us from home this afternoon, Ikeme and Michael Kightly, and the rarity of a Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff, the first one we've had since pre-first lockdown. Unbelievable that it has been this long to see Wolves play at Saturday 3 o'clock since then, and hopefully we are going to see Wolves getting back to a little bit more of the rhythm and the panache that we saw pre-lockdown. We saw on Wednesday night a battling, hard-fought draw at Chelsea, a clean sheet as well. That's where we're going to start our build-up tonight, with a few reflections on what happened at Stamford Bridge, because Ikeme, from a goalkeeper's point of view, from a defensive point of view, a clean sheet, stopping the rot, first clean sheet in 13, that's all you can take away as a big positive, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to add to start off with, do you know how Tomo gets that introduction of Hall of Famer and all of this? Can we find a way of doing it for me and Kites as well?
If you want to join the Hall of Fame,
just a nice introduction, just
tell you what,
Hall of Famer and Ikeme and Michael.
Cheers, Michael.
You've got to be over 40 to get that, Kings.
We need more. We need more from you.
The Hall of Famer Andy Thompson, a man who scored many goals on Wolves' route towards promotion in 2009, and an accomplished player himself, the wing Michael Kightly and Ikeme.
It was as we said on the night, it was back to basics, and I can't remember Rui really had. I know he made the one save in the second half, but he didn't have much to do. It was a great headed clearance from William at the end, but we wasn't under pressure really. A lot of the play was in front of us, and it was a real defensive performance from us. Probably more structured performance from what we're used to. It seemed like everyone knew what they were doing that night. They set the game plan to defend for large periods of the game, and they'll have the confidence to take into the next game. As we spoke to Codes after the game, he was buzzing with the performance, buzzing with the clean sheet, and you can see the confidence that brings. We've got the new striker in, a few players coming back to fitness, a little bit of a boost around the club. Raul, back in some sort of training. I know he's not back soon, but it's all given the lads a little bit of a booster, which is built off the fundamentals of a clean sheet as well.
Tomo, Keames mentions talking to Conor Cody after the game on Wednesday. It was really noticeable, wasn't it? Just the difference in his demeanour, and look, the way he was speaking and the way he was smiling, it was almost as if they'd won the game. It meant so much to them to just get that clean sheet and a point.
Well, it does, and as Keanes touched on there, they looked a lot more confident playing in that role, the three at the back, and they looked a lot more solid. But also as well, all the players knew what jobs they had to do. They knew what they had to do in the formation that was set up. And again, they nearly nicked it a couple of times throughout the game, even though Chelsea had a lot of possession. But they stood strong. So, and that's what we've seen from this Wolves team. Okay, it wasn't most attractive going forward, but defensively against the Chelsea side that near enough threw everything at them, I thought they played really well. And that's what it's all about. So, look, Conor Cody is right to be excited about what went on that night. So, look, about what performance they did, because they, as a defender, And Keem just says, as a goalkeeper as well, that is the big thing that you're there to do, stop goals leaking in. And that's been one of our problems over the last few weeks, is that we've been conceding too many goals, giving ourselves an uphill battle to get back into the game, being a goal down so early on. And rightfully so, they're going to get confidence from keeping a clean sheet.
Because Michael Kightly, we were talking the other night about there are different ways to control games. You can do it with the ball, you can do it without the ball. Chelsea put a clip out on social media over the last couple of days of like a 16 kind of pass move that they put together against Wolves. But I watched it and I kind of thought, well, every pass is like going backwards, Wolves players closing in, and eventually it ends up being a shot from distance. So if you're Wolves, you're looking at that and going, well, actually, that's exactly what we set out to do.
Yeah, exactly. I think going to what Tomo just said there, the three at the back for me just suits us down to the ground, and it has done over the last couple of years. We look comfortable, and even if teams have got possession, as you said there, with Chelsea having a few passes together, that don't look like hurting us. And I know we've tinkered with the four at the back, but for me, it just hasn't worked. And you're saying there, Connor Cody was over the moon. I think himself would agree that he's much better in a three at the back. He can control things, he can organise. So I think going back to the three at the back is massive for us. And it's good to change at times and have that sort of string to your bow. But for me, we're much stronger when we play three at the back.
Well, let's look at the team because Wolves we expect, playing three at the back, but there is no Ryan Nori this afternoon. So pretty much as Wolves were in the second half at Stamford Bridge, with Nelson Semedo switching over and Kiana Huda coming in. Kai Ikeme, what did you make of Nelson Semedo the other night? Because I actually thought it was one of his best Wolves performances so far.
Yeah, I think I give him man of the match as well. I thought he was very good. Showed discipline in his defensive duties. Probably didn't have the opportunity to go up front and attack as much as he'd like, but he done a great defensive performance. He controlled Hudson-Odoi as well in the second half, and he had a real solid game, and something that would give him confidence as well, because he's probably been a little bit inconsistent, especially in terms of his defensive duties as well. So I think we can all see the quality that Semedo's got. I think he's just settling in as well, and I think, as we've alluded to with the three at the back, I think possibly the three central defenders know that formation and know what the fullback should be doing more than anyone. And I'm sure it will help the likes of Semedo, Aït-Nouri, who's come in, Kahuva as well, to really bed in, because we have struggled defensively this season. And I feel that result at Chelsea was massive for us to build off, and I think it will give Semedo confidence, as it will the whole team, of keeping a clean sheet, and then he can build off that as well by adding to it going forward as well. But yeah, I think your first job as a defender is keeping a clean sheet, and I felt like he was my man in the match against Chelsea, and hopefully he can build.
We will talk about the forward areas in just a minute. I just want to, before we get rid of that, actually, our producer can just put that back up. People might notice the name of Hugo Bueno amongst the substitutes for the first time. He's an 18-year-old Spanish left wing back who he's played every minute actually for the under-23s in Premier League 2. So he may well potentially get an opportunity if Wolves were to suffer more injuries in that kind of area, with no Romain Saiz amongst the substitutes, no Patrick Catrone either, but Morgan Gibbs-White does return, and young defender Nigel Lundvik in amongst the subs as well. Okay, let's talk about the midfield for just a quick moment. Tomo, Ruben Neves, I think he had more interceptions than anybody else on Wednesday night, but João Moutinho coming back in for him this afternoon. What's your take on that call?
Yeah, I think that he's going to start to mix them two up a little bit. I think he's going to start to use them as he can. And again, it was a tough game for Ruben Neves. Most of the game, we were chasing the ball. So I think that he's just brought in fresh legs into them, Moutinho. Even though it's his age, he still runs around. He still does a good job in there. And I think that he doesn't really want to play him in there with Neves, Moutinho. He's got to be with Dendoncker. So I think that the rotation is going to happen. I think that he's going to look at changing things around a little bit, and rightfully so, because he did get through a lot of work the other evening. I still would like him to be a lot further forward for me. So, I know that it's difficult for him, that he wants to sit in there, but he's got to try and get a little bit forward with me, because he's got to be offering opportunities of scoring goals, especially with the way that he shoots from distance as well. But again, it's about rotating round. He's changed a few in the side today for one reason or another, and that's what he's going to do. So he's going to make sure that we do rotate round to make sure that we try and keep people fresh. We've got another game in the week as well, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does on that game as well.
Yeah, coming thick and fast at the moment. We will return to the team news, but there was obviously some major news coming out, certainly regarding the Wolves Foundation over the last couple of days, and the Feed Our Pack campaign has seen Nuno put in £250,000 of his own money. There's a £500,000 pot to try and help alleviate food poverty in and around our area. It's an incredible gesture, an incredible piece of work to try and do, really. And Carl Ikeme, I just wanted to bring it up with you because obviously you do an awful lot of good work with the Good Shepherd, and I just wondered how much this kind of thing is going to try and help people in our area.
Yeah, first off, it's an incredible gesture, let's be honest. Even though Premier League managers and Premier League players are paid well, it's still huge money to give away from your own pocket. So I'd congratulate and give them a massive tap on the back for doing it, because it's huge. But it is a big problem in Wolverhampton and a lot of areas in the country. Me being from Birmingham as well, living in Birmingham, I see the problems around food poverty as well, but especially as being an ambassador for the Good Shepherd. It's all year round, and they get a lot of contributions during Christmas, but then for a lot of months of the year, they don't see as much as they do through other periods. So this is a thing that's every day for them. It's normal to see people coming in who are struggling to feed themselves or having to make tough decisions between how much food they can get and the heating bills and little things for families as well. You'd be surprised to see how many families are affected by this. It's a lot. It's heartbreaking when you're seeing people bringing their kids to pick up food parcels or whatever. Like, nobody really wants to do that. So it's a massive gesture from Nuno and the Premier League as well. And along with...
It's nicely timed as well, isn't it? Because so many of you former players were involved in raising money kind of in the first lockdown and getting together as a big group to try and do something and help out the NHS around our area. And I guess it's important that we don't kind of forget, because it's still affecting a lot of people.
It's exactly that. It's exactly that. I was there just before Christmas, and they were sort of talking about like maybe a campaign of it's like, they used to do the campaign about a dog's just not for Christmas, it's for life. It was a similar thing that Goodwill is not just for Christmas, it's throughout the year, and in between January and April is a really quiet period for them. They get a lot of parcels before Christmas, and then when it comes to March and April, they're having to try and ramp up again to get supplies in. So the timing of it's incredible, and it is a real issue. Honestly, it is a real issue, and with obviously the pandemic that's going on, it's even heightened with what's going on. So it's incredible work from Nuno, and him giving the money will go far away, but also the awareness that he brings around it as well.
Yeah, do you know what, Mikey? Sorry, I was just going to say there. For me, that shows how much Nuno cares, not only about the club but the city.
Yeah,
and over the last few years, we've had talks of him maybe going to Chelsea or Arsenal, and the fact that he's done that out of his own pocket shows to me how much he cares about the city and the club. So it's an unbelievable gesture, and hats off to him.
We always say that we are a community, we are a family, and it's important to look out for those who need a bit of support. And if you want to find out more details about the Feed Our Pack campaign, head to the social media pages of the Wolves Foundation. No doubt we will come back to this at some point in the coming weeks and months. We need to talk a little bit more about the team news for this afternoon's game, though. And obviously, in the attacking ranks, Willian Jose starting for the first time in Old Gold, having been a surprise addition to the substitutes bench on Wednesday night at Stamford Bridge. We can get a little bit of lowdown on him from Spanish football expert Guillaume Balaguer. Guillaume, thank you so much for joining us here on Matchday Live Extra. Willian Jose arriving in from Real Sociedad. How big a coup is that for Wolves to get him in?
Well, let's say that it suits every part of this story, because on one hand, Willian Jose, for a year, and I'll tell you why in a minute, was thinking of leaving. Real Sociedad felt that his energy wasn't the right one, that perhaps he was thinking of something else. And you could see it in the way he celebrated the goals, or the way he didn't celebrate the goals in the last 12 months. And then, of course, Wolves were looking for a striker of his quality, a regular goal scorer, but more than that, and you can go through it as well, somebody that links up, that is a one-touch finisher, but his movements are very, very clever as well and helps others. So it is a coup in a way. It's a good signing, but I think everybody's happy that has taken place.
Because I was going to ask you, what type of player is he? Because you know what it's like when players get linked to clubs and you go on YouTube and you see the highlights reels that have been put together. It maybe doesn't tell the full story of what kind of a player he really is.
Yeah, if I did a highlight of my moments as a footballer, you'd think I'm one of the best. I'm terrible. So I know exactly what you mean. With Willian Jose, what you've got is it's a player that will not spend a lot of time linking up with the midfielders. That is very comfortable with with his back to goal. So holding the ball and maybe delivering the ball to somebody else, but whose main job happens in the box or around the box, because it's a very, very powerful shoot from outside the box as well. Right-footed, but be careful of his left foot, because he can also, I've seen him scoring goals from outside the box with his left foot. Very good header of the ball as well. Intelligent movement. But the main thing, the biggest asset, and I think that links up a little bit with Raúl Jiménez, is that is a one-touch finisher. If he makes the right run, and he'll do it all the time, just make sure you deliver the ball, because he will just won't control it, won't dribble, won't get involved in anything like that, but will surely finish it. He hasn't been scoring huge amounts of goals in his career, partly because of the clubs that he was in. You know, from Castilla B, Zaragoza, Las Palmas, Real Sociedad, not high-scoring teams, and not teams that create a lot of chances. But with Real Sociedad especially, a much more offensive side than the other ones. He has a good record of, I think it's 15 to 20 goals one season, 11 goals, 14 goals. That's what you get. Discount this season, because in the last 12 months, as I say, there was the possibility about a year ago to go to Spurs. There was an offer made of 20 million euros that was rejected by Real Sociedad, and basically Spurs did not go back, while Willian Jose thought they were going to go back. And because he was in the middle of negotiations, he decided not to go to a cup game against the wishes of the coach, and without permission decided not to go. He was fined for it. Then it was a matter of trying to recover him when everything fell through, and still you felt that he wasn't fully happy. And then just like a month and a half later, when Barcelona were looking, this is February, the market is closed. They get Dembélé injured, and they're looking for a striker or somebody to add to the side. And they spoke to Willian Jose again, and he fell through. They went for Braithwaite. So he has felt for, and then of course the pandemic and a little bit of a break as well. This year hasn't been one where you should really judge him for. But yeah, you've got a goal scorer, and for as long as the ball gets to him with quality, he should finish those moves.
Yeah. How do you think that he'll fit into the style of play in the Premier League?
As always, it will be a matter of adapting a little bit to the pace of things, because especially with Real Sociedad is a team that likes to control the ball, move it around, but they have the ability to play box to box too, and be a bit more direct. For as long as David Silva was with them, there was more of the looking to put the ball into the pockets and make movements against sides that were defending very deeply. But as I say, when with David Silva hasn't been there, they can also have high tempo football too. In fact, Real Sociedad, from that point of view, is perhaps the most Premier League team that you've got in La Liga. So I don't think it'll take a long while to adapt to the tactical requirements of the team. I think what you want is like Raul Jimenez, a striker that makes those moves for others, but also that he's around the box and inside the box. It's just perhaps the intensity that you get things done in the Premier League that may affect him, because he's been in and out of the side, had a bit of a injury trouble too. But quality always succeeds. I'm always convinced of that. It doesn't matter where you are, because last time I looked in the Premier League, it's always 11 players and one ball, isn't it? So I think he should be fine.
Because one of the things, obviously, there will always be a comparison, won't there, to Raul Jimenez and the way that he's adapted and coming over, but also the Jimenez-Adama Traore partnership, which has been so important for Wolves over the last 2 seasons. Do you see Willian Jose fitting in to that and maybe getting the best out of Traore, who's not had the greatest of times?
I think they could even be good mates. Alan Traore, who speaks so many languages, but one of them, of course, is Spanish, and William Jose, who from his time at Real Madrid B, is also obviously very, very versed in Spanish. It may be a good relationship there. And personality-wise, they seem like in the outside, for what I know of Adama Traore, they look like completely the opposite. But I feel that they're both quite shy in a way. And they may just help each other. I'm pretty sure that will happen. And then the rest is with Adama Traore, as long as you are in the same wavelength. Sometimes I think he's simplifying. When he started playing well, I saw that with Spain more than with Wolves, but when he started playing well, he simplified his game. He was asked to be put very wide, wait for the ball to come to you. I think with Wolves, he gets more involved, sometimes dropping deep and perhaps too involved. But then when you get the ball, just put it in. If he does that kind of football, William Jose will love him to bits. I think what the strikers demand is wingers or players behind them that make life simple to them. Just less of the dribbling and more of the delivering, and then they'll get on well.
Do you think that Willian Jose, as you spoke about him, there've been a few transfers and they fell through, will be using this as an opportunity to maybe cement a move to Wolves or somewhere else in the Premier League?
I don't think he's going back to Real Sociedad. I think the intention is for, if it goes well for him, is to stay at Wolves. And we're talking about Wolves being one of the top 6, 7, 8 sides in the Premier League. They've shown to be so, certainly. And that's his level. I think I'm not sure there is an extra level to him. He's 29 now. And if he scores between 10, 15 goals per season, that's a striker that will benefit somebody like a team like Wolves. So I don't think he's using this to actually be put in the shop window. I think he just wants to stay in the Premier League. And one of the reasons why he didn't celebrate so much in last goals he scored, for instance, in the last game, we knew he was going in the cup, scores 2 goals, and he seemed very melancholic and down. It's because he didn't want to be there anymore. And in fact, Imanol Alguacil, the manager of Real Sociedad, said that we've improved with what we got. And they got an untested striker, really. But they felt that relationship was over with Willian Jose. And Willian Jose wasn't looking for a team in Spain. I think Real Sociedad is also the kind of level that he's got to be at. And going to Wolves is a test to himself. He's never been in the Premier League. But my understanding is that Real Sociedad don't have the intention to bring him back. It's more about, confirming that he's good, and then Wolves pays for him.
Guillaume, I know we've had a lot of your time, so very quickly, I just wanted to ask you about Nelson Semedo, who obviously you'll have seen an awful lot of him at Barcelona. He's taken a while to settle here. It's almost Wednesday night at Chelsea seemed to be his best game. He's playing a slightly different role as well from the second half of that one and today as a left wing back. I just wonder what you thought about him and how he may adapt in the coming months.
His adaptation on the pitch is something that he succeeded at Barcelona. He was right back, of course, most of the time. Sometimes when Jordi Alba wasn't there, he would play left back. And I know what you mean about Semedo. He's the kind of player, isn't he, that you think there is more to him. He must be, because when he does get his best form, when you see glimpses of his talent, you think, this guy could actually take the team to another level, especially attacking down the wing. It didn't happen often enough at Barcelona, certainly. And I couldn't tell you a period of 6 months in which he seemed unstoppable. No, but there were games, as you said, against Chelsea, for instance, and even in a different position, in which he seems like a top player. He needs, in my eyes, the deeper you play him, the better. If you play him even as a left back, better than left winger. But of course, because I think he's the kind of player that needs space to. He's not exceptional in small spaces when there is not much time to dribble or do something with the ball. But with pace, he can actually deliver a very good cross, and running with the ball is good driving with it as well. Use him as a fullback, I think it'd be better. Has always been a fullback with the national side as well, and how to get to him a period of 6 months where he's very good, I just don't know because I haven't seen it yet. But the potential is there for him to impress at moments.
Ian, really appreciate your input. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us. Stay safe and well.
Same to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Guillem Balaguer, Spanish football expert, of course, with some really interesting insight, Michael Kightly, into both Willian Jose and Nelson Semedo, who we've talked a little bit about ahead of the game tonight as well. It's interesting, Guillem kind of saying there, that that Willian Jose especially is maybe not quite, in Guillem's mind, a top 6 type player, but he might be of the level just below that what Wolves want him to be, which is to make sure that we are in and around that group. And if he does stay long term, and they do have he and Raul Jimenez, sounds like they would complement each other quite well.
Yeah, it does. And as Keane said, he might have, something to prove. He's had a couple of moves fall through. So, hopefully he's going to come here hungry and wanting to succeed. And, we have, since Jimenez has been out, we have really missed a focal point up front. And, talking to Guillem there, he feels like he can bring people into play, which I think is massive for the likes of Neto, Podence and Traore, because their form has sort of dipped, or definitely Traore's has definitely dipped since the injury of Jimenez. So hopefully he can bring the best out in those 3 that I mentioned. And then, as you said, when Jimenez comes back, it's the squad is looking even stronger. I was going to say that earlier on. Looking at the bench today, it looks so much stronger than it did, 2 or 3 weeks ago, which is great news. And him coming in is great, and hopefully he can hit the ground running.
It's an interesting one, though, isn't it? And this is open to all of you, but I'll go to Tomo first. Nuno's gone with Podence. We imagine kind of playing on the right and Neto on the left, though they may swap, rather than Traore, who's dropped to the bench. Traore didn't have a great night at Chelsea. He didn't see the ball very much, did he?
No, I thought that he struggled to get into it. I think that just coming off and just trying to find space where he could receive the ball, I think that he found it difficult. And you would say that, it comes from Neto. Neto's got hunger and desire to get the ball and go forward with it as well. I thought Podence did okay, but Traore really, really struggled for me. I think that it was never an option when we had the ball. We kept getting, the supply up to him wasn't great anyway, but for the amount of times that he did have, it didn't really run. I think he had 2 or 3 times that he run with the ball. It's got to be more. For me, he's got to go looking for the ball, find space himself, that he can receive the ball when it comes to him. And I just thought the other night that he struggled to actually do that. And for one reason or another, it just didn't happen for him. And he's gone with Podence and Neto and Willian in the strike line force this afternoon, sorry. But I just think that didn't do enough for me. And I think that he's been left out because the other 2 did a lot better, and he wants to put Willian in there.
Mikey, just saying that for a winger, when you're low in confidence, you stop doing those things that you're so good at. Tomo would know, when you've not got confidence that you had when you're playing well, you'll stop taking people on and stop getting crosses in like he was last season and the season before. So I think he's dipping confidence. It has affected him, and he's probably not going looking for the ball and trying to take people on like he was. He was unplayable at times last season. And I think Jimenez being out of the squad has really affected him because he can't play off of anyone. He sort of almost feels like he's got to do it on his own. So, I don't think it's a bad thing. Pulling him out of the team for a few games, use him as an impact sub, and, I think he can affect the game from coming off the bench.
Well, yourself, Coach, it's all down to supply, isn't it? You need service. You need people to pass you the ball. But also as well, you've got to try and work to create space for yourself to receive the ball. And I just don't think he's been doing that lately for me.
No, he hasn't.
And that's what he's got to do. He's got to try and work that space so he can receive the ball, that he is opening himself up. And you've touched on there again, he seems a little bit more reluctant to go forward and get that ball. He seems more comfortable just either going sideways or passing it back. And that wasn't the player last year, was it?
I think it's difficult though. I think after the Chelsea game, we didn't have a lot of the ball, did we?
No.
And I think to touch on what Kaiser said as well, I think it's really affected Traore not having Jimenez there, and he wasn't playing that much. What's that? Sorry.
I think that it's hurt him as well not having Doherty there as well behind him, because they're
possibly as well, because Doc complimented Traore so well, and it's because he did have such a great season last season. It's kind of every time he gets the ball, you're thinking, go on and do something. Every time where he's got other players around him creating space for him, or he knows that if he gets to the byline, he knows he's got Jimenez in the box, where he's not had that for the last couple of months, and he didn't really start the season, start too many games at the start of the season. So I think it's always going to be a mixture of them. Or someone's always going to miss out if we've got a striker on the pitch between Podence, Neto and Traore. And I think it's always going to get mixed with games, with them just playing on Wednesday and games coming thick and fast. It's always going to be difficult. I feel like Neto's probably cemented his place more than the other two. But then I think it's going to be a mixture of them both. And what a difference a striker's made coming in has made our team and bench look a lot stronger all of a sudden.
Yeah. Well, let's continue this chat about our forward options and what to do. And we can speak to one of the greatest forwards that Wolverhampton Wanderers has ever had. And I realise as I'm saying this, Keem's going to get even more annoyed at the big build-up that I'm giving to him, because you have to pay respect to the King, John Richards. How are you, Your Highness?
I am Mikey. Hi, lads.
Hi, John. You're right.
I was so excited when you called me. It really was. It's a bonus to get out your lockdown clothes. I nearly put a suit on. I was thinking of putting a suit, collar and tie, just to impress you.
I know you've got your boxer shorts on still.
You know me too well.
John, we're just talking about Wolves' forward options.
Yeah.
Adama Traore's on the bench today. Willian Jose in to start for the first time. They need to find goals, don't they? And it's the hardest thing, I imagine, to find, but they've got to try and create some way of doing it.
Yeah, and I think what surprised us all is I don't think we realised the dependence that the teams had on Jimenez. And I'm not just talking about the goals, but obviously the opportunities, the space he created for other people to score goals, people like Neto and obviously Traore when he's in the team. And, you know, Wolves have got, 21 goals? It's only just a goal a game. You know, to sort of, you know, be up there in the Premier League, you've got to be scoring a lot more than that. And we need more goals from some of the support players. You know, you can't just rely on one person to keep knocking in the goals. It'd be interesting to see today with William coming in and how they support him. But, you know, they've got to get alongside him. You know, he's a top-class player and he's going to be creating opportunities. So the other lads have got to start doing their bit, to be perfectly honest, from the goal point of view.
Because there's a different element to it as well, isn't there? There will always be the focus on Willian Jose, as there has been focus on Fabio Silva over the last couple of weeks and beforehand. But, you know, Pedro Neto has not scored for 9 appearances now. Daniel Podence hasn't scored for 4. And we all know Adama Traore's struggles. He hasn't scored a Premier League goal since 2019. So it can't just be one man, can it?
No, not at all. And you know, you look at all the good teams, and when you know, you shouldn't hark back to your own playing days, but we had like 4 or 5 players who could knock in goals on a regular basis. When the team did well in the league, I think we had 4 or 5 players who were in double figures. So, and you know, that's the difference. And it'd be interesting today to see how it goes, Mikey, because you know, they've got to be a bit more adventurous. And I think they've been a little bit cautious in their games, and whether that's just a slight lacking confidence. And it doesn't take a lot. You've only got to be off your game, you know, 1 or 2, you know, a fraction. You know, it makes a big difference at that level. I just hope they can sort of have the confidence to to go at Crystal Palace. We know Crystal Palace are a good side. You know, they've got good attackers themselves in Zaha and Benteke. And, you know, I think it would be Wolves' advantage to have an open game and not for them to sit back.
John, what's the mentality as a striker coming in for your first game for a new club? Is it just to put in a good performance and work hard, or you're putting pressure on yourself to score straight away?
It's just to put on a good performance, you know, work hard. I think the goals will come. You know, when you've got a player of that standard, Carl, you know, he's going to score goals. You know, he's got one goal every 3 games. And, you know, that's very impressive at that level. So he'll score the goals. It just needs the others to be up there supporting him and not sort of sit back. I think that's my worry, you know, with the team. And I know they did well midweek with the Chelsea, good defensively, but they've got to step up from now. They can't just, you know, go for 0-0s. I don't think that's going to help anybody. But I think from the lad coming in, you know, he's a quality player. It's not like Fabio. Fabio's a young lad, still got a lot of time to develop. This lad's the ready-made article, and I expect him to do well for us today.
John, was you judged on goals, or was you judged on performances and bringing people into play and creating chances for others? Because me personally, I feel that we don't create enough chances to score goals. So for Jose to come in, for me, I'm not looking at him to score loads of goals, but only create chances for others and then, you know, chip in with a few goals himself. How did you sort of look at that as a striker?
As a striker, you always wanted to score goals because that's how you were measured by a lot of people. But by playing for the team, those opportunities came. You know, it was a case of, all right, you weren't too happy if you didn't score, but if you won, it didn't really make any difference. And I remember a spell, you know, all strikers have spells where they're not scoring. You know, they'll be going 7 or 8 games and it's just not happening. But, you know, what all the advice is, just work hard and it'll come back because, you know, with the strikers, it's natural. It's like goalkeepers. You know, goalkeepers do things instinctively. You know, it's, and the same with the strikers. And it'll work. It'll come off for him. But he's got to have that support. And I think if I was him, I think he'd be looking forward to this. I know the weather's not too good, but it's, you know, if you're a footballer, you want to play, don't you?
Carl Ikeme, John made the point there about, obviously we gave a lot of praise to the way Wolves went about things on Wednesday at Stamford Bridge, but this is a Crystal Palace side who only West Brom have conceded more goals than them this season. So the expectation is there, isn't it, to go out and play differently and go out and score goals today? Yeah,
I think so. I think Palace are a similar position to us in the league. And Roy Hodgson historically likes to sit back as well. I think when we played them before, that we've had a lot of the ball in the games we played, and it'd be interesting to see what they do today, to see if they'll give us the lion's share of possession, even though we didn't have a much possession on Wednesday night. So I think it'd be an interesting game because there's a lot of good attacker players on the pitch both ways.
Yeah.
And I expect there to be space for us at times as well. So it's a different mentality from Wednesday night. But I don't think we should change different mentality and different expectations, but I don't think we should shy away too far from the defensive solidness again, because I think that's the foundations of what has built us over the last 2 or 3 years. I think we've been a counter-attacking team and we seem to work better off that. It'd be interesting, as I said, that Palace are not really a possession-based team, but I still feel like the fundamentals shouldn't really change. I know you can say in the change room that don't concede a goal, but sometimes it's just a bit of a mentality thing, and I don't think we should shy away from that yet.
Right, team's going to be out very shortly, so very quickly, let's get predictions. I know the King is desperate to get one right. What are you going for, John?
Well, I know what you're going for because you're fairly predictable anyway. So I'm expecting goals today. Seriously, from both sides, because I think they've got some good strikers, and I think with, you know, hopefully Wolves will kick on as well. I'm going for 2-2.
2-2. Okay, Michael Kightly.
I'm going for 2-1. 2-1 Wolves, obviously. I think it will be an open game. But I just fancy us today off the back of a couple of good results recently, one in the Cup and away at Chelsea. So I fancy us to win 2-1.
Tomo, very quickly.
I'm going to go 3-1. Say Wolves.
3-1. Keems.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tomo, 3-1.
3-1. Okay, and I will go for 1-0 just because John said I was going to be predictable.
Surprised you, John.
And I would not want to disappoint the King.
Looks like I'm going to win one today. Sorry, lads.
John, thank you so much for joining.
Good to see everybody, especially you, Carl.
And you, John. Take it easy, mate.
Take care.
It's more for Michael Kightly and Kyle Ikeme at half-time. More from Tomo in a second. Don't go anywhere. Crystal Palace against Wolves is next.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money-can't-buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
A second trip to London in a matter of days for the third meeting of the season with a Crystal Palace side Wolves have beaten twice already this campaign. Another Wolves win would be a first top-flight double since 1972. The Eagles have had their wings clipped in recent weeks, just one win in 10 in all competitions. They've also the Premier League's second worst defence. Nuno's side kept their first Premier League clean sheet in 13 matches at Chelsea on Wednesday and haven't won in 7 league games. Both sides will be hoping for a morale-boosting victory. Nuno has made 3 changes from the side that started at Stamford Bridge. Out goes Aït-Nouri, Neves and Traoré, the latter 2 amongst the substitutes. In comes Kiana Hoover, João Moutinho, and a first start for Willian Jose. On the Wolves bench, it's Ruddy, Neves, Fabio Silva, a return for Morgan Gibbs-White, Vitinha, Traoré, Orin Otashawi, and then youngsters Nigel Lundvik and Hugo Bueno. Wolves lining up with Patricio in goal, Bolly, Cody and Kilman, Hoover and Semedo the wing-backs, Dendoncker and Moutinho in midfield, Podence and Neto either side of Willian Jose up top. All the players will take a knee as they continue to do so to send an important message. Racism will not be tolerated. And we're underway here at Selhurst Park. Palace with Vicente Gaeta in goal, Nathaniel Klein, Cheku Kuyate, Scott Dan and Patrick Van Arnholt. Their back 4, a midfield 2 of James McCarthy and Luka Milivojevic, with Eberechi Eze, Jordan Ayew and Wilfried Zaha, the chief support to Michy Batshuayi up top. And immediately a touch here for Semedo to try and launch it early for Willian Jose to run onto, and he's putting pressure immediately on Scott Dan, who just about held his nerve and turned and found Van Arnholt, who flicks it over halfway line. Batshuayi to Eze to his right-hand side. Numbers trying to pour forwards for Palace. Ball is slipped infield to Eze on the edge of the penalty area, though he presents it to Dendoncker. And Podence early, getting it back from Willian Jose. And he'll play the ball infield to João Moutinho. Dendoncker in the centre circle, allowed to turn, and only a minute gone in this game, but a decent enough tempo early on to it.
Yeah, it is. Selhurst from both teams. Selhurst, and I think the service will help that as well. Selhurst, the way that the ball's zipping off the surface. But again, Selhurst, Wolves look confident. Say Crystal Palace had a few passes together. Now it's Wolves' turn to have a bit of the ball. But again, say it's just trying to get those strikers into the game, which we didn't do that well the other night. And hopefully it'll change today.
Still a little bit of rain swirling around, but not nearly as bad as it's been for the last couple of hours building up towards kick-off. There was suggestions of some sleet and snow around, but it's mainly just been rain. Wolves are playing from left to right as we look at it first half. So they are defending the end where the Wolves supporters would normally be, tucked in on the right-hand side of the Arthur Waite stand as you look towards the pitch. Wolves attacking the Holmesdale Road end. We're in the main stand towards the right-hand side of it. I'm pretty much looking across the edge of the 18-yard box that Wolves are attacking first half. Tomo a few seats further back to me with a big pillar in front of him as well.
A big post, yeah.
It's not going to make too much of a difference to his view of the game.
Good job we've got a seat on wheels, I'm telling you.
Here's Van Arnholt down the left-hand side for Palace. They're red and blue striped shirts as usual, blue shorts and blue socks. Wolves in gold shirts, black sleeves, black shorts and gold socks. All trying to defend as Milivojevic has the ball, plays it wide for Sahar. Falls towards Eze, foot in by Bolly. Hoover trying to find Neto, who flicks the ball in field. Willian Jose trying to tee it back here for Matinho under pressure. Whipped it to his left-hand side to Semedo, who's got time to try and carry the ball forwards. Finding Pedence back to Matinho, just inside his own half. Was a real sign of the league game between these two back in October that Palace effectively surrendered the wide areas, and Wolves got so much joy from that.
Yeah, so I don't think they're doing that today. I think they've changed it a little bit where they're just getting the two wide strikers just to drop back in. I think it's Ayew at that one side, and Zahar on this side near closest to us, who are just dropping in. But again, so there's still going to be opportunities if we move the ball quick, and the surface is going to help that.
Here comes Matinho out to the right-hand side to Hoover. Midway inside the Palace half, trying to play it on for the run of Neto, who's needed a sliding challenge of Scott Dan to intercept. Otherwise, Neto may well have been in there on the right-hand side of the penalty area.
Well, he was cleaning, wasn't he? So look, it was a good spot from Hoover there. Good run from Neto coming from that left-hand side. And Scott Dan had to slide to actually intercept the ball just to stop it going in. But again, good spot, and that's what they've got to try and look at. They've got to try and get at this back line of Crystal Palace.
Palace seeing plenty of the ball at the minute as Dan plays it to the left-hand side to Van Arnholt. A couple of yards short of halfway. Back in field to Dan. Taken short from him by Milivojevic. He plays it over halfway, just to the right of the centre circle for Jordan Ayew. Tries to drive back in field, goes past Matinho. Dendoncker got a foot in as a first a loose ball. McCarthy trying to switch it out to the Palace left for Wilfried Sahar up against Kiana Hoover. Infield to Ayew. Van Arnholt joining the attack, but Dendoncker wins it. Finds Pedence, who tries to set Neto away. Over the halfway line comes Pedro Neto. Trying to knock it past his man. A run on the outside, right-footed. Now back onto his left. Trying to lift his cross high to the far post. It's going to go all the way through the penalty area. And Klein will clear it before Semedo could reach it, but it will be a Wolves throw.
Yeah, that was a shame because Willian was in that central position, wasn't he? So he's bang in the middle of the goal when Neto was just going onto his right foot, but he's checked back, and once he's done that, he's continued his run forward, and then Neto's just overhit it. So it's a shame that he just didn't hit it early and have a little bit of confidence on his right side, Neto.
There's Willie Bolly in possession for Wolves. He'll play it wide to Hoover, just inside his own half, back to Bolly. It was open for Neto to cross it right-footed.
It was, but he made his run. So look, that's what, again, it's going to be things that he's going to have to get used to in this side about people, knowing their strengths and weaknesses.
Oh, lovely ball by Hoover. Willian Jose trying to pull it back to Pedence in the box, and it needed Nathaniel Klein to get across in front of him, but that was a lovely spot by Hoover and an equally superb run by Willian Jose.
Well, he did that moments ago, didn't he, trying to get Neto on the same kind of run. But Willian Jose has just got onto the ball. You could see him just checking it back, but unfortunately, Pedence just couldn't get at the end of it.
It's been a good start, this. 6 minutes played. Wolves already looking bright in attacking areas as Jose couldn't quite collect the throw from Hoover off the chest. I was watching him in the warm-up, and they were doing plenty of that, throwing the ball up and having him come and take it down on the chest.
Well, that's what you need, though, isn't it? You need somebody just to hold it up and just be able to bring people into play. And that's one of the things since Jimenez has been injured. And I know Silva's been trying, but so like I say, he's still learning the game, still learning the trade, Silva. But this lad's come in, and now he's got that experience. He's played there before, and he knows what's expected of him. And hopefully it's going to work out for him.
Well, that's the difference between an 18-year-old and a 29-year-old, isn't it?
Exactly. A lot of years, a lot of games, a lot of playing against opposition. And in Spain as well, especially, that's the kind of thing that they're going to do, link-up play.
Jordan Ayew on the right-hand side for Palace. Just still inside the Wolves half. McCarthy in field to Milivojevic. Back to James McCarthy. Go back into his own half to Kouyaté. Say Willian Jose, he's a man. He's a big physical unit.
Well, we've seen what Jimenez has done. He's 30, isn't he? Jimenez just gone. So he's roughly around about the same age, kind of experience as well.
Hoover closing down on Van Aanholt. It gets away from him down the left-hand side, playing the ball in field. Wilfried Zaha on the edge of the box, trying to curl one. Didn't quite get enough curl on it. An offside flag had gone up anyway. Raul Jimenez is 29.
Yeah, so same age. So around about the same age. And again, these people, so look, it's a big gap from Silva to these people because they said the experience what they've gained over the years playing against loads of different opposition. And so he puts him in good stead. And Silva, again, has come in. He's done pretty well. He's improved. But again, I just don't think he's quite ready yet.
Hoover back to Willy Bolly. We have played just shy of 8 minutes at Selhurst Park. Neto to Bolly. All's deep inside their own half, and Bolly running across the edge of his own penalty area. Eventually playing it to Kilman. Kilman, clever ball forwards to Willian Jose, who tried to take it on the turn, but Palace with enough players around him.
Well, that was one of the things that he said, wasn't it, before the game, that he's getting up to the pace of the game in the Premier League. And that's what you're not going to have. Say, in tight areas, you're going to have pressure put straight on you by the opposition. But that'll come. That'll come.
McCarthy across the centre circle for Milivojevic. Forwards again to Wilfried Zaha. Back to Milivojevic. Into McCarthy, pretty much on the centre spot, looking downfield. Trying to find Eze, but Neto slid in. Dendoncker stretching with his right leg. Couldn't keep hold of possession. There's Eberechi Eze again, being tracked by Neto. Goes out to the left-hand side for Palace for Van Aanholt, cutting in field. Zaha trying to twist and turn, trying to feed it in towards Batshuayi on the turn. Cody got a toe to the ball. Klein shooting, and it wasn't far off as it fizzed past that left-hand post of Rui Patricio.
No, it was close, wasn't it? Because Patricio's gone for it. He's gone to try and save it. So fortunate for Wolves, it was just going over. But again, we're just watching it here. I think Connor Cody just gets a toe just to knock it to him. Yeah, so it's gone over
the top of the bar.
Yeah, it's gone over. Patricio's dive, but I think that he knew it was going over. Yeah, he's kind of pulled his arm away a little bit, isn't he?
So you can get in touch with us and have your say. Use the hashtag Wolves Live at Mikey Burrows at Wolves on social media. Rob in Calgary, looking forward to this one after a heartwarming week. Nuno's Food Bank and the point at Chelsea, 2-0 with a debut goal from the best Willian in the Premier League, says Rob. Rich Frampton says, Lisa says 1-0, I say 2, lining up the beer for next weekend. All those of you who've been doing dry January, the utmost respect for me. Tomo would never be able to manage a whole month.
Easy, mate. Done it many a times.
Can't go a weekend.
Can't go a weekend.
It's Kouyaté.
You make it sound like I'm drinking every day, you.
Well, that's some of the reports that I've been getting from the Thompson household.
Misinformed reports, I think.
Zaha back to Milivojevic on halfway. Scott Dan, midway inside his own half. Wide to Zaha over the halfway on the left-hand touchline. Trying to play it forwards, and Hoover actually did really well because he was off balance. He thought that Zaha was going to play it infield. He didn't, and stretched out his right leg and managed to intercept it.
Yeah, so he just did well just to put a pause on his run, wasn't he? Because he was going one way and ended up going the other. So he did well in the end to get his foot to it and block it.
There's William Jose popping up on the left-hand side, just inside the Palace half, playing it back to Kilman. It's the interesting element of Nelson Semedo at left wing back. It kind of feels slightly strange, like he's out of position, but then we've played Johnny there for the last 2 years and no one's batted an eyelid that he's a right footer.
I know, that's the thing, isn't it? So look, it's...
Oh, good touch by Dendoncker. Here's Prudence trying to lift it in towards William Jose. It's going to come back towards Neto. Hoover trying to get a foot in as Palace just about worked it clear. Just needed a little bit more of a composed ball there by Daniel Prudence in a really good position.
Yeah, I thought it was in a great position. It's just a shame that, again, it just needed a little bit more.
Sahara and Martinho going flying to the floor with each other. Free kick Palace had already been given. Sahar trying to hold off Jean Martinho.
Well, he's going to be at him. Well, he's got the ball, isn't he?
I say Semedo effectively doing the role that Johnny has been doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he defended really well the other night. So, look, Hudson-Odoi was a big threat. And so he did well against him.
And Sahar on the left-hand side for Palace, back into his own half to Dan. We'll play it into the feet of James McCarthy in the centre circle, to his left-hand side to Milivojevic. Over halfway, trying to find Batshuayi. Wide for Van Arnholt. Forwards again to Batshuayi, but Bolly and Hoover stepping in. Dendoncker caught. Ball's free kick.
Yeah, so he did well there, Dendoncker. So look, he didn't really have that much on. Had to carry the ball 5-10 yards because there wasn't nothing on, but he did really well just to shield the ball, and he invited the challenge to come in. So he did well.
Well, Dendoncker has stayed down here for just a moment.
He's putting his boot on.
I think so. Can't quite see him from, obviously he's got his back to us from where we are.
I think his boot should come off.
Yeah. John Littler tuning in. And David Roll says, feeling better today, so I'm going for a 2-1 Wolves win. And get in touch, use the hashtag Wolves Live to have your say. As Dendoncker continues to get his boot on, it's on now. We have played 13 and a half minutes. Don't forget, if you are watching us via our YouTube channel, the official Wolves YouTube channel, you can leave your comments in the chat there and we'll check on some of them as well. It's going to be pulled back for Patrick Van Arnholt, I think, with an issue deep inside the Palace half.
Yeah, I don't know if Hoover's just caught his ankle because there was together, wasn't there, at one stage. I don't know if he's just stood on. Yeah, I think he's just stood on the back of his heel. Accidental.
Dendoncker was still sorting his boot out there as well, by the way. We are, I say, quarter of an hour gone in the game, and not too many efforts from either side, but Wolves will be relatively happy with how it's going so far.
I think so. I think that the couple of opportunities that they've had in the top third of the pitch, I think they'll be disappointed with the actual final ball. Going back to that Prudence one, a little bit more care on that one, and the Neto one where he broke free as well. If he'd put it in with his right foot, just to give Willian a little bit more of a chance. So, look, but apart from that, so look, yeah, I think they'll be pretty pleased and comfortable with the way things have gone so far.
Gaitas kick forwards, a big flick on, and there's a head injury that play will stop for us. Jordan Ayew went up for the challenge on the Palace right-hand side.
Yeah, I couldn't see it for the post, unfortunately.
Max Kilman, I think, was the Wolves man who challenged with him. And I think it will be a Palace free kick as well.
Yeah, he has given a free kick, hasn't he?
Kilman came for it, and I think he just heads the side of Jordan Ayew's head on that right-hand side of it, just on his temple.
Is it next week, the concussion subs coming, is it?
Early February, yeah.
Next week, yeah.
From, I think, match week 23, so not the next game, but the week after, concussion subs will be available. Not before time, too, you would say.
Yeah.
Milivojevic to try and play it down the right-hand side, but he's massively overhit that pass for Wilfred Zaha, and it's through for a goal kick for Wolves. Thank you very much.
You don't know when he's upset about something, does he, Zaha? Even when the ball was played, before he's even got out of play, he's got his hands out to the side in his disappointment of the pass.
Wolves taking a goal kick short. Patricio to Cody, who was just the right-hand side of the 6-yard box, outside of his penalty area now, finding Bolly. He tries to lift it towards halfway for Neto, but Dan's header will go out of play for a Wolves throw. Chris Hampton on the live chat says there's a great feeling that today we'll win. It's gone for 3-1.
Yeah, so is me then. Just for me, so look, I don't know, so look, we give up a lot of possession the other night, but I just think that a clean sheet means so much to people with the way that things on. It was a tough game, it was a tough night for them. So, like, chasing a lot of the times.
Jordan Ayew just short of the centre circle. Semedo tried to get a foot in. Ayew coming away with the ball and heading out to the Palace left and finding Zaha, who carries it over the halfway line. He's got options ahead of him, but he'll go back infield to Milivojevic, who plays it low across the centre circle for Kouyaté, and back to the left-hand side of it to Dan. Out to the left-hand touchline, 5 yards over halfway for Van Arnholt. A short pass to Eze. Milivojevic, Van Arnholt, all the way back deep in his own half. Gaita will come out of the penalty area. Plays it to Kouyaté. Wolves not interested in trying to close down whilst Palace have it there.
They're happy just to let Palace have the ball in that area, aren't they? And to be fair, that's the majority of the teams, that's what they do anyway. Unless they've got a big press going on, they'll just be happy just to let the opposition just have the ball.
Eze on the turn, closed down by Matinho though, and Dendoncker to the loose ball, finding Kilman. Matinho back to Cody, inside the D, just outside of it now of his own penalty area. Playing it to Kilman on his left. Route to Semedo blocked off. That might be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. Something tactical that Palace are trying to work on to try and maybe prevent Wolves wing-backs getting into the game.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I think that's what Ayew and Zaha are doing. I think they're just dropping in just to stop that ball getting out to the wide areas.
There's Willian Jose over the halfway line on the left, trying to feed it infield. Good ball to find Daniel Podence just out of the centre circle. Podence allowed to turn and face up towards goal, and now scooping it towards Semedo. Semedo into the area, trying to get it back onto his left foot. Just closed down by Kouyaté, forced wide outside the box. Pulling it back to Matinho. Matinho trying to drive on. Wide again to Semedo. Semedo will use support here from Daniel Podence, who looks up and whips a cross that's going to go all the way through the 6-yard box and behind. Willian Jose and Neto were in there, but neither of them really made the run to try and get on the end of it.
I think that's a good ball for me. He's put it into a good area. They've got to be on the move. Just got caught on the heels a little bit. As soon as that's come back, and you can see he just pulled his leg back. You've got to be on the move. If anything, I think Willian just pulled off. He took a step backwards. Just get in there, Salah. Just have a run. Salah again. So it's just having that understanding about people who you're playing with.
Jordan Ayew on the right-hand side for Palace, midway inside the Wolves half, cutting infield. Now finding Wilfred Zaha in a central position, who fancied a shot from distance. It was charged down by Dendoncker. Ball rebounds wide to Patrick Van Arnholt on the Palace left. Back to halfway for Milivojevic, closed down by Neto, goes all the way back to Gaita.
Good pressure. Cut off the ball into the central defender area. There's only the goalkeeper that they had an option for, so it was good play by Wolves. Again, we talk about having control without the ball, and they do that pretty well, to be fair to them. Pushing the opposition into areas that they want them in.
It's very much a 5-2-3 when Palace have got the ball there, with Podence and Neto very much up alongside Willian Jose. As Milivojevic tries to switch the play for Van Arnholt up towards the edge of the Wolves penalty area for Zaha. Bolly trying to get a foot in. He's gone chasing for the ball and he's made sure he's won it. And he finds Podence, who flicked it back wide to Bolly, who's ended up playing left wing at the minute. Here's Willian Jose capitalising on a little bit of a mistake from Kouyaté, trying to switch it for Neto, who's just about reached him as McCarthy went sliding in but didn't win it. Here's Neto up towards the corner of the penalty area, trying to cut back infield. Just finds Kiana Hoover with again a clever pass. Oh, Dendoncker can't quite
so
reach
lucky.
it, ran out of room. There's again another lovely ball by Hoover, who's shown some great willingness to play passes that you wouldn't quite expect a defender to play. Dendoncker this time with a clever run. Ball just evaded him.
Yeah, so Neto just trying to open that chance up, wasn't he? Just to cross the ball. Again, coming back onto his left foot. And that's the problem if you're playing on the opposite side. You want to get onto your stronger foot just to put it in there. But if you're looking at the strikers, Pedence and Willian, they've already made the run.
Van Aanholt forwards, Zaha, and closed down by Dendoncker. It'll be a Palace throw. But again, that's twice now. Lovely vision from Kiana Hoover to spot a run.
But it is, and just have a swing of it with your weaker foot. So look, he just needs to have a look at it.
Pedence finding Neto. Now for Pedence again. Little short pass infield to Dendoncker, who can carry it forwards. Finding Neto on his right-hand side. Neto level with the edge of the Palace penalty area, cutting infield. Left-footed cross blocked off. They wanted a handball there, Wolves, and referee Simon Hooper not interested. And here comes Batshuayi as Palace try and hit on the counter with Klein racing up on the outside of him as he reaches the midway point of the Wolves half and tries to switch the play. Hoover's header going back infield. Eze for McCarthy. Now for Wilfred Zaha trying to feed it through, but Bolly will make sure that goes through to Patricio.
Well, that's 3 times now that Neto's gone inside again, and you can hear them from here shouting from the actual bench where Crystal Palace coaching staff are. That's about trying to send him down that right hand side, cut the inside ball off. Just got to try and put it in there with his right foot. He's got a decent right foot, to be fair to him.
Oh, Neto's on the charge again. He's got Hoover wide of him. This time it's Hoover low all the way through the 6-yard box. Willian Jose with his head in his hands because he knows that was a good ball and he hadn't quite gambled enough on it. Kilman's done really well here. He's going to get a free kick, I think.
Yeah.
It's gone out of play. It's going to be a
free kick.
Well, the linesman was signalling for a throw for Palace, but Wolves get the free kick. What a good ball in that was by Kiana Hoover.
Great ball in. Again, that's that gambling thing, isn't it? You need somebody just to get in there. But I know I keep mentioning it, but like that, it's having the understanding, knowing your players, isn't it? He knows that he's got the ability to put in there, and that just comes with time, unfortunately. So Willian hasn't played with a lot of these players. I know he got on for a few minutes the other day, but it still doesn't count. It was a great ball in. Great ball.
By all accounts, the players were quite impressed in training with his finishing ability. Willian Jose. As McCarthy plays it back to Vicente Gaito on the edge of his 6-yard box under pressure from Pedence. Clearing it high. Dendoncker winning it in the air. Matinho will nod it down for Kilman. We have played just about 24 minutes of the game here at Selhurst Park. Still 0-0. As Hoover couldn't quite keep it in. This time on the right-hand side, Raymond says, listening on a late lunch break in County Waterford. Great to hear King John on pre-match. Come on, Wolves. Fosier thinks we'll win 2-1. Ugly Pete reckons 1-0. Wolves, Pedence goal. Kieran 2-1. Neto and Jose to score. A lot of people fancying Willian Jose to get his opening Wolves strike. Will be Van Aanholt with a throw just short of the halfway line. Passes it straight to Dendoncker, who found Hoover. Back to Cody, infield to Kilman. Here comes Semedo down the left-hand side, trying to cut back infield. Jordan Ayew tracking him. Semedo's pass intercepted by Milivojevic. Semedo's gone chasing to try and win it back, and he might have caught Milivojevic there. They'll play on.
I thought it was a good tackle.
Palace have given the ball away, and they will come back now because Milivojevic is still down.
It's a great tackle, good chasing back. It was never on, was it, that square ball? And you've got to be so careful with it. But he rectified the mistake that he made. Went in, good slide tackle for me. But to say he's just caught him, probably with the follow through.
Semedo went fighting for it.
Yes, nothing wrong with the tackle and the challenge.
Sean Goldsby's gone for a Fabio Silva late winner, 1-0. Ben Vickers reckons Neto will get it. He's also been very specific about the 41st minute.
Inside info, is it?
Rob Baldwin, 2-0. One from Matinho, says Rob.
Well, he only scores worldies, doesn't he, Moutinho? He only scores a top corner.
It's been a long time since he has last been in the goals. All the way back
Bournemouth.
to that Bournemouth match, Feels a lifetime ago.
It was a long time ago.
There are many lifetimes since then. João Moutinho, it's 54 matches without a goal now. He went 60 without a goal before he struck.
So he's not prolific then, is he?
Let's just say he's probably not going to challenge your goal tally.
I was going to say, yeah. I think it's safe.
Here comes Semedo down the left-hand side for Wolves. Midway inside the Palace half. 27 minutes played. Moutinho back to Kilman. Now Neto popping up just to the left of the centre circle. Looking downfield, trying to find some room out on the left. He'll go back to Moutinho, who was just behind him, and he'll play it to Cody, just short of the centre circle. Turning away from Batshuayi and finding Kilman, who can carry it up over the halfway line. Finding the feet of Semedo on the turn. Wide out to Neto on the left-hand side. Neto thought about an early cross, now trying to find some room. Going past Klein. Was there a deflection on the cross? All eyes on the ref. I think it will be a corner,
Yeah, so I think it's Klein who got the block on it, but he looks so much comfortable on that left-hand side, doesn't he, going on the outside and just getting his foot through it.
Wolves with a set-piece opportunity. Try and force the advantage as we approach 28 minutes played.
Well,
Corner.
You got some size in there, haven't you?
Dendoncker, Willian Jose and Bolly are all just inside the area. Kilman is on the edge of the 6-yard box. Moutinho pacing it out, right-footed from the left-hand side with Neto for company. But Moutinho will whip it in himself. Bolly, missed everybody. Bolly was just underneath it, and Willian Jose had already gambled and made a run closer to the far post.
Because he's a good ball in. He's a good corner from Moutinho. Good area. Was a bit. Anybody standing in the centre of the goal, 6-yard box, got a free header.
Well, it's interesting that kind of Kilman was stood there beforehand, and then he vacates it to allow the 3 runners to come in.
Yeah, but good ball in from Moutinho.
You're just pleased that he put it direct in.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
You're not a fan of the short corner.
Look, I'm a fan of it if it goes in, but I'm not a fan of it when we just mess it up and we end up defending it. As a defender, there's nothing worse than you actually been there, gone all the way up the pitch, and it doesn't come in. And we've done it a few times, to be fair.
So basically, what you're saying is, if it works, you'll tolerate it.
Yeah, but look,
if not, you reserve the right to criticise.
Yeah, well, that's a player's privilege, isn't it?
Then Dunker under pressure from Eze did well to find Kilman, who can carry it forwards. At least he's honest, eh? Here's Neto on the turn, driving on. Wide to the right-hand side towards Hoover. Just sold the pass a little bit short. Van Arnholt slid in. It will be a Wolves throw.
We've done that 2 or 3 times, and I would have thought the opposite about the pitch, where we've left it a little bit short with the passing.
Good drainage on these kind of surfaces.
Yeah,
these
there
days.
is. You would have thought that it's...
You can see a little bit of spray on there from the ball.
Yeah, that's probably just on the surface, though, isn't it? Not as much as line puddles, is it?
There's Hoover. They do play a lot of under-23 games on this as well. Wolves under-23s were here earlier this season.
Well, considering that, then, it's doesn't look bad pitch at all, does it?
2-1 defeat for the under-23s that day. Taylor Perry whipped in a super free kick. Christian Benteke started for Palace under-23s and opened the scoring. Also had James Tompkins and Martin Kelly playing in that game. Vitinha played for Wolves actually on that day. Here's Semedo, wide on the left-hand side. Here's Podence. Semedo's continued his run. Good run as well. Now can he try and whip across? And he did. It was a little bit too deep. Hoover stretching and racing to try and get to it, and he kept it in, and it's gone to Moutinho, and now wide again to Kiana Hoover. It's closed down by Wilfred Sahar. Well, McCarthy, Podence lay down behind James McCarthy, thinking he was going to try and backheel it, and he didn't, and it just looked weird.
Well, McCarthy's just tripped over him, hasn't he? That was funny because he's like, you see where the line behind the wall just to stop that ball from going underneath. He did exactly the same there, thinking that the pass was going to come through.
Well, I think it was the look on James McCarthy's face because it's right down in front of us when he kind of began to fall back. It's like when you were out with your mates when you were younger and somebody kneels down behind you and someone comes up and pushes you. It's kind of McCarthy looking around going, what are you doing there?
I was wondering what he was doing.
But Hens couldn't quite get to the ball ahead of Van Arnholt this time. McCarthy, Zaha, infield to Eze, just over the halfway line for Palace. Wide again to Wilfred Zaha. Milivojevic to McCarthy, switching it to Cheku Kiyata. Out to Klein, just on the halfway line. Trying to play it down the line, down the Palace right for the run of Jordan Ayew. Kilman out there tracking him. Comes backwards to Klein. Kilman again. It's Kilman again trying to challenge. The ball's gone infield to Jean Matinho. Gets it back from Willian Jose and Pedence for Bolly. Bolly's so calm and composed.
Yeah. He's composed, isn't he?
Zaha was closing in and he just dropped a shoulder. Pedence inside the Palace half. Lifting it infield to the chest of Willian Jose, who will control and lift it to his left-hand side. First to Neto, who's got Semedo out wide of him. We'll play it back infield to Matinho, though. Matinho will play it to Semedo. Onto his right foot, low one in. Oh, nice little flick. Oh, Dendoncker tried to take a touch.
Just hit it.
Willian Jose flicked it, knowing Dendoncker was behind him. And the Belgian tried to take it on, and in the meantime, Batshuayi taking it on for Palace. We'll get Tomo's views in a second. Here's Wilfred Zaha up to the edge of the penalty area, goes down inside the box, took a tumble. Simon Hooper took a long look at it and says no foul. Wilfred Zaha can't quite believe it. Thoughts on that penalty decision first there?
No, I don't think it is. And I think that Zaha, the way that he goes down with referees, I think it goes against him for me. I said, look, I thought that Conor Cody just stood his ground.
I think Cody might have got something on the ball.
Yeah,
that might be what saved him.
But I think that the referee was pretty close anyway. But I think a little bit of his reputation. I say, look, I know he goes down. He's a good player, but I think that just goes against him slightly. But I think Conor Cody probably just got a touch on the ball, I think.
And the Dendoncker opportunity. Willian Jose. Sorry, yeah, go on.
Yeah, just hit it. So look, I think that if he strikes it there, he's tried to control it, which look, I can understand what he was trying to do. But with that control, he's that close to the goal. Just hit it with the outside of his foot.
Or swing your left foot at it.
Well, he tried to flick it around the corner, didn't he, with his right foot? If he hits it with the outside of his foot, because how close he is, so look, it's going to be on target.
Not scored since Everton at home back in the summer, Leander Dendoncker. He is more than due a goal. He's had a couple of good opportunities this season. Sometimes he's found goalkeepers having games of their lives. There have been other opportunities where maybe he'll feel he could have done a little bit better. It's 23 appearances in total without a goal.
Here's the penalty thing again. I know it's... Yeah, he's just catching the ball a little bit, I think, Conor Cody, doesn't he? Yeah, he just catches the ball. But to be fair, Zaha just leaves his leg there, doesn't he? As he's going past him, just watching it again. Yeah.
Hoover with a foot in on Zaha. It went backwards to Van Arnholt, though. Yeah, no doubt Wilfred Zaha knew what he was doing. Cody had just got a little bit square on him.
Well, he just stood his ground, didn't he, Conor Cody? And that's why you say that Zaha's gone over his leg, because he's square onto him. Is that rain coming down still?
Jamie says they're all due a goal.
Even me and you, mate, I think.
Oh, I'm definitely overdue then. Here's McCarthy. That's the left-hand side for Palace. Wilfred Zaha. Back to James McCarthy. Infield to Scott Dan. 10 minutes to go until half-time. This may be a little bit added on at the end of the first period. Seeing Palace edging the possession, but Wolves may be looking a little bit more threatening going forwards, though Van Arnholt with an early cross that'll go all the way through the penalty area and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, so they have had a lot of possession, Crystal Palace, but not really hurt Wolves, have they? It's always breaking down in that middle area, or just as they're getting into that top third for Palace. That one chance with Klein, just having a shot over. But Wolves have had some half chances, but it's just broke down at that vital moment, hasn't he? So look, it's just either just getting somebody in there think the Dendonker's one is a good opportunity. Semedo's starting to come into the game a little bit as well. Got to try and get our strike force still into it. Selhurst Park look lively.
There's Hoover. He's a little bit fortunate to get it back from Van Arnholt. Bolly, just a couple of yards inside his own half. We'll turn and go back to Connor Cody. Now here comes Kilman, up towards halfway. That's the left-hand side to Semedo. Back in field here to Max Kilman. William Chose. Oh, William Chose has passed it straight to Batshuayi. And Batshuayi one-on-one with Cody and Bolly getting back to help out and scooping it backwards. It will be a Crystal Palace corner. It really didn't need to be.
Yeah, that's what you don't want from your strikers. His ball's gone into him and he's just tried to pick him out. I don't know what he saw there. Just watching it from the replay. Oh, good covering from Bolly.
Wolves with defending to do when they were comfortable in possession. William Chose amongst those back inside his own penalty area. Corner right-footed from the right-hand side. Everybody in a gold shirt back inside their own box, trying to keep this one out from the far end from where we are. Delivery will go high. Comes to the edge of the box, and it's William Chose who just smashes it downfield.
That was a heavy uni.
Yeah. Get rid.
Yeah.
Van Arnholt, short for Milivojevic. Short sleeves and gloves on. Plays it. That's the right-hand side to Klein. Back in field to Milivojevic. There's a for McCarthy. To Van Arnholt on the left. Further down the line for Sahar. Midway inside the Wolves half. Infield to Batshuayi. Now Milivojevic was looking to the Palace right. Instead trying to find Eze, who's presented it straight to Neto. William Chose will just hold off Milivojevic, and that overcooks the pass for Keanu Hoover. Not his best couple of minutes for the new man.
No, he's trying to do the right thing and hold it up and that. He just hasn't come off as it. He's give it to the opposition, and then he's just passed it out of play there. He showed good strength initially, just holding off the Crystal Palace defender.
McCarthy in the centre circle, trying to switch it high out to Palace left, but Keanu Hoover got there first with his head and then tried to hook the ball away. It has gone out for a Palace throw. We've got listeners in Vietnam this afternoon and one in Italy on the chat who says he's basically only listening to us because his TV signal's terrible. He says, I've got to have to put up with you today, Mikey. Thanks very much.
It's always nice to be wanted, isn't it?
There's Ayew for Klein, midway inside the Wolves half. Back to Milivojevic, trying to set it out towards Jordan Ayew on the right-hand touchline, being forced backwards and tracked all the way by Kilman. Kouyaté, wide again for Jordan Ayew, can try again, looking downfield and trying a long straight ball that's headed away by Bolly. Neto, just dropped a shoulder and he's managed to skip away from a couple of challenges here. Pedro Neto, and he's over the halfway line. He switches it for Semedo. Semedo with a heavy touch, and that allowed Klein to come through and smash the ball downfield, and it will be a Palace throw.
Oh, that was a shame. Neto did really well, didn't he? And so look, and Semedo just to look like a foul throw.
Klein throwing it infield. That's Shuai for Wilfried Sahar. Short of midway inside the Wolves half. Neto with a foot in. Sahar will keep it in on the left-hand touchline for Palace. Back to Scott Dan. 5 minutes to go until half-time. Still Palace 0, Wolves 0. Thoughts to come of Karl Ikeme and Michael Kightly at half-time. Milivojevic for McCarthy. Out to the left-hand side to Van Arnholt. Trying to feed one into the Wolves penalty area, but that'll go all the way through for a goal kick.
Yeah, Selhurst, both teams struggling in that top third of the pitch at the minute, haven't they? Even though Crystal Palace are in a little bit more possession. If anything, we probably look more of a danger going forward, but we just haven't got it right in front of goal at the minute. But just got to keep going, keep plugging away, keep playing it.
Possession stats have just gone into Wolves' favour for the first time. As Kilman trying to play it long. Flag has stayed down against Semedo. It will go up now.
I think it'll go up, yeah.
Did look offside from
Yeah,
where
they
we
did.
are.
There you go. There's a rarity, mate. Agreeing with one of the officials.
Wolves haven't technically had a shot in the game yet, but they've got into good areas.
Yeah.
And that's been, I guess, the one frustration. There's Van Arnholt. There has been signs that Wolves can get goals today. Just maybe making a better choice in the final third.
It's just that bit of quality in that top third, isn't it? It's just making sure that you do offer that bit of quality and delivery, shot, whatever it is. That's the thing that's just missing from the game for Wolves.
Down in the centre circle, trying to lift it out to Van Arnholt on the left-hand side. Close down by Neto, infield to Eze. Back to McCarthy, just over halfway, midway between the left-hand touchline and centre circle. Lifting it forwards to Van Arnholt, who's in behind Hoover. Into the penalty area, low one is going to pull back towards Nathaniel Klein, arriving, striking it, jumps towards Batshuayi.
Did well.
And somehow Wolves have managed to put the pressure on and force it over the crossbar.
Did absolutely brilliant, Conor Cody. That's why he just thought he had that there, and it just fell to him. But Conor Cody's just come across and just distract him, kind of put him off. But Hoover just getting caught there, wasn't he, down this left-hand side for Crystal Palace. Just watching it again.
The strike hits Cody, hits the chest of
just in enough pressure on him, didn't he?
Cody threw his body in his way.
Just to put him off. Did well.
There's Hoover on the right-hand side for Wolves. Oh, and he's just presented it straight to Wilfred Zaha. Just got a little bit sloppy. He does make amends, though, Hoover. To toe back in. Volley for Hoover. Down the line for Pedro Neto. Infield to João Moutinho. Now Willy Bolly. Midway inside the Wolves half. On the inside right. Finding Dendoncker to the right of the centre circle. Switching the play across to Kilman. Kilman with a bit of a straight pass that was too far ahead of Daniel Podence.
Yeah, you could see what he was trying to do, and he's trying to get the ball up to Podence as quick as possible with his second touch, but it was always overhit, wasn't it? With the pace that he had to put on the ball.
Milivojevic out to Klein, back to Kouyaté. Possession just swinging back in Palace's favour last couple of minutes. As Kilman lets it go over his head and Cody will collect.
So Kilman's had another steady game, hasn't he, so far? He's an okay down that left-hand side.
Podence trying to help it on its way, miskicked it and kicks the ground in frustration as Palace got a throw. And inside their own half, Milivojevic. Switching him backwards to Scott Dan.
Just got to try and be a little bit more creative, and we just to get something with an effort at goal. So at the minute, it's just not happening. And as you said, Crystal Palace are starting to edge it again with the possession.
Van Arnholt back into his own half. McCarthy's going to put the ball out of play. And it was rather deliberate. One out of play. It's McCarthy that's in trouble.
Yeah, he's gone down, hasn't he? I don't know, he's holding his leg or his groin.
Just getting another view of that possible Batshuayi chance.
Oh, yeah. I think that he's slashed at it because Conor Cody's coming in. Well, it's a good chance for him, though.
Best chance of the game.
Yeah.
So McCarthy down on his haunches, needing a little bit of treatment. Robert's listening to us in the Basque country. Decided to listen to us rather than Spanish commentary. I've enjoyed Guillaume Balaguer being on, joining us pre-game. Talk about Willie and Jose.
You had a nice shirt on, that kind of shirt you could.
Oh, I thought that was more you, to be honest.
I thought it would be you, mate.
I can see it's like a Paul Hollywood type thing. It's not very much how I see you sometimes.
Paul Hollywood. What is it, the grey hair, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 2 minutes.
I could see you pulling that off. Still McCarthy getting a bit of treatment. James says, come on, lads, smash one in before the half. So McCarthy's still down, so you're not missing anything. I think Jaro Riedewald is getting stripped and will come on for these final 2 minutes. 0-0 as we are in added time at the end of the first period.
Yeah, he's struggling,
Mikey Burrows and Paul Hollywood with you.
set you some challenges then, Mikey, I think.
Back underway, ball all the way back to Vicente Gaita. And we will start again. McCarthy is back on. Read about is stripped and ready to come on and replace him.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen before half time there, will it? Probably. Was there a minute left?
Ball bouncing awkwardly for Semedo to try and hook it back towards the halfway line. McCarthy allowed to bring it down and turn. Plays it to Klein on his right-hand side, who charges down the Palace right. Pulling the ball back in field. It's Ayew on the touchline. Klein poking it to Milivojevic, trying to switch the play to Van Aanholt. It was just over the top of Pedro Neto. Backwards to Dan. McCarthy again.
Yeah, he's struggling with his right groin, I think. His right foot, and he's playing everything with his left, McCarthy. So I think there will be that change at half time, but
Scott down with a two straight ball forwards. That Hoover or Neto with an awkward one back to Kiana Hoover, who's lost out here to Wilfried Zaha down the Palace left. Cross takes a little bit of deflection. It's going to come through to Batshuayi. Bolly with a foot in. And Neto with his right foot just swinging it and trying to clear it towards halfway. Willian Jose battling hard and actually did really well to get it. And Pedence now trying to set Neto away on the right, and he's just undercooked the pass.
Well, I don't understand why that's not pulled back by the referee. It's a clear free kick on Moutinho. And say it's only one pass after it. I know it's fair dues to the referees, tries to play advantage, but it wasn't an advantage because Crystal Palace got the ball.
Long ball forwards that will be easy for Conor Cody to deal with, just to the right of his penalty area. Cleared up towards Willian Jose, and that is the final action of the first half here at Selhurst Park. Not a huge amount of goal opportunities. Best one for Palace falling to Michy Batshuayi after Nathaniel Klein's shot deflected off Conor Cody into his path, but Cody made amends, dived down in front of him and forced him to lift his shot over the crossbar from 8 yards out. Wilfried Zaha had tried to get a penalty earlier on in the game. Wolves putting some decent balls into the penalty area, but nobody really on the end of them. The one opportunity they did have was a clever little flick in, and Willian Jose just touched it on into the path of Dendoncker, who maybe could have swung his left foot at it, chose to try and take it with his right and go past his man and close in on goal, and overcooked his touch through to the goalkeeper. It's been pretty even.
Yeah, it has. So neither team have really threatened the goal, have they? So look, Crystal Palace have had a couple of half chances, Klein and Batshuayi, who's just had that opportunity towards the end there. But I just think the Wolves have just got to have a little bit more of a gamble, have a little bit more creativity in that top third. I know it's something that we've struggled with in recent weeks, but just have a gamble, just have a go in there. The great ball in from Hoover, from one of them. If you just get into their Pedence, just getting in there, Willian, just have a gamble, just go in there, expect the ball to be put in there. I understand that Willian hasn't got that understanding with everybody how they play yet, and I'm sure that'll come with time. But for me, just got to have a little bit more quality as we get further on up the pitch.
Well, more from Tomo to come, more from Carl Ikeme and Michael Kightly as well here on Wolves TV. Match Day Live Extra. Don't go anywhere. We'll look back on that first half in just a couple of minutes.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money can't buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/wolves-lottery.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Jimenez! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
The volley over the goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
So half-time at Selhurst Park, a game of few chances so far between Crystal Palace and Wolverhampton Wanderers is goalless at the break. Here on Wolves TV is Andy Thompson, Michael Kightly, and a man who made 206 appearances in the Wolves goal, keeping 71 clean sheets, 10 caps for Nigeria as well, and an all-round legend who's got a book out as well, by the way. You might still be able to get it on Amazon. Ikeme is with us as well. What have you made of that?
I really like that. I really like that.
What were your thoughts on that first period?
Yeah, I thought we passed the ball well from the middle of the pitch to the third. I think that final ball was just lacking. You see at the start of the half a bit of hesitancy to put it in the box. I think William made a few runs and then the ball didn't come, and then he stood still a few times and then the ball's come. So I suppose there's a bit of understanding that I suppose will come over time anyway. But I thought we've been pretty decent. I just think that final pass in the last third and no opportunities is disappointing as well. But I won't be too disappointed in the half. I feel like we've passed the ball well through most of the pitch, apart from the final third.
Michael Kightly, what have you made of it?
Yeah, pretty similar to Keane's and Tomo's thoughts, just listening before you went off air there. I think we look solid. I think we look like we're controlling the game. I think we look comfortable. Would just like to see us take a little bit more chances. And as Keane said there, when we get it wide, just get it in the box and let's see what Jose's about. You know, he's making runs and then he's not making runs. So, you know, from a former wide player, just get it in the box and see what he's about. Because I think looking at his first couple of touches, I thought, you know, he looks a good player, he looks clever. So, you know, I'd like to see us be a bit more adventurous.
Kite, is it an element of Neto just because he's obviously playing right, but he is so heavily left-footed? Because, look, he's not the first one to do it. And we were talking in commentary about Semedo playing right-footed from the left. Would you like to see, if you've got Semedo right-footed on the left, put Neto over there so you do have a left-footer, so you have a choice of which way to go?
Yeah, maybe, but you know, even if Neto's on his right foot, just swing it in there. Sometimes just putting it in an area, not sort of trying to pick anyone out, just have a swing and just put it in an area, and let's see what, you know, Jose, his movement looks pretty good. Let's see, you know, how he reacts to those balls going in there. I'd rather him put it in there with his weaker foot than not put it in there at all. Obviously, he's a lot more favourable on his left foot, but for me, just got to get the ball in the box a little bit more. I think if Jimenez was playing and had been playing, you know, balls would be coming in left, right and centre. So let's get back to that. So hopefully we can see that in the second half.
We saw, didn't we, the kind of the different wavelengths maybe for William Jose Keames, where inexplicably just passed it straight to Batshuayi inside the Wolves half, and they did well to kind of get back round and cover. That's going to happen, isn't it, early on in his Wolves career?
Yeah, of course. It will happen throughout his Wolves career. And I've got no doubt. I agree with Kites. His first few touches and his movement, you can see he's a good player. It's just put the ball in the box and put it in areas where he can attack it. I think he'll do a share of the building up play, but he wants to be in and around the box. He wants to score goals. You see the clever little heel. I think was it to Dendoncker in the box. It fell, didn't quite fall right for Dendoncker, but you can see he's a clever player, and you see that he wants to do the majority of his work in that 18-yard box. So I feel like that's where his strengths are, and I feel like he will score goals. But it's just about just agreeing with what Kites was saying. It's just about taking a chance as well. I feel like we've had good possession in parts of the pitch. I think it's just about taking a chance, going past somebody, not always going back and coming back out the other side. I feel like we do need to take a chance, and I do feel that Palace are here for the taking as well, in all honesty, because I feel like there's a lot of space on the pitch as well. And if you're looking at their back two as well, they'll be. If you can get Podence and Neto running at them at any point in the second half, they'll really cause problems. I just don't feel like we've somehow took that chance. Maybe it's from midfield at time or the centre half to get that ball into Podence and Neto where they can start running at them that back two, because they will be in trouble if they can get in on the outside of them.
Tomo, there's an element, isn't there, where, I mean, Kings mentions that one where Willian Jose flicks it to Dendoncker, and we talked about it in commentary where maybe he could have just swung his left foot at it and tried to strike it. There was one quite early in the game where Podence got it kind of a couple of yards outside the penalty area and tried to kind of dink here in rather than doing something to it. Do Wolves sometimes just overplay a bit?
I think they overcomplicate it a little bit. I think it's we've seen Neto 2 or 3 times down this right-hand side where he's got it onto his right foot. He's attacked the fullback, what we want him to do. But with his right foot, just put it into an area, just put it into it. It hasn't got to be an absolutely perfect ball. If you're putting it into an area, and we've seen time and time again, Williams making that run into there, but once he's checked back and come onto his left, he's out of the game. It's because he's made that run expecting the ball to come early, and we haven't done it. And again, we've done it down the left-hand side a little bit, but it's more or less come down this right-hand side. Hoover's it a great ball in, and again, it's that understanding from Willian Selhurst that he wasn't quite sure whether or not he was going to come in. But we've said it in many games about somebody having a gamble, somebody taking a risk, being that little bit more creative.
Somebody shoot.
Yeah, somebody shoot, yeah. It'd be nice. But I just think that we just got to take it and be a little bit more courageous in the penalty area. Just have a go at it.
You agree with that, Michael Kightly?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Having said that before, just get our shots off, get our crosses in. You start getting your numbers up in those areas, getting more crosses in and more shots off. It's inevitable that you're going to score more goals. If you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle. So just keep trying to get the ball in the box and getting shots off. Second half, I think we always play better second half, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to seeing the second half. And the bench is so much stronger than it has been over the last couple of weeks. So I expect us to go on and build on that performance and go on and win the game.
Yeah, I think just to go on to the second half as well, we were talking about the front three and then Troy being on the bench. I think at the start, when I was seeing the game shape up, I'm sort of thinking, Troy would have loads of space here to run at their fullbacks and get the ball in the box. So we've got them options to come on in the second half as well. I think it's just as Kite said, you just need to take more chances, shots, crosses. A goal will come eventually after that, as long as you get them numbers up.
Okay, boys, thank you very much indeed. Carl Ikeme, Michael Kightly. More at full time, more from Tomo in just a second. Hopefully, more to come from this Wolves team. We're waiting a first goal here in this game down at Selhurst Park. Don't go anywhere. Second half is coming next.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
The Old Gold Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molyneux on a few occasions, and I'd never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from England, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Gold Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Jimenez! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
The volley over the goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
So 2 teams are back out for the second period, or certainly Wolves are back out. Anyway, Palace yet to come, but their substitutes have been out for quite a while, and it looks like Jarro Riedewald, I think, will come on at the break. Here come Palace, just rejoining us. Because of the social distancing, by the way, it's interesting, you might have noticed on the TV coverage that Wolves are not getting changed in the usual dressing rooms. There's kind of like... I don't know best to describe it. It's like an old bus kind of thing in the corner there. I think it's made up of old shipping containers that Wolves have to get changed in the corner. It's where the under-23s got changed as well. There is kind of full facilities in there. How warm it is, I don't know.
I was going to say, if it's a metal container, I wouldn't think it was too warm, would it?
Confirmation.
You don't want to make it too much of a luxury for the away team.
Well, I thought those days had gone.
Well, they're going to be they've got to be up to a certain standard anyway, haven't they?
Harking back to Tomo's era. Well, it's got started just yet. Now we have back underway for the second period here at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0 on Wolves TV. Paul Clifford says hoping for goals, but guess even one will do. As Kilman seeing the ball out of play for a goal kick.
I'll tell you what, I thought that was a corner. I thought that come off the bottom of one of the boots, who just closed the ball down. I think the referee's seen that. I'll take it. So
Wolves unchanged from the break. Patricia in goal, a back three of Bolly, Cody, Kilman, Hoover and Semedo are the wing backs. Dendonka and Matinho in midfield. Pedence, William Jose and Pedro Neto up top. TV cameras have just shown Owen Otazawi with a hot water bottle in the stand and wrapped up even more than I am up here. It has got noticeably colder in the last 20 minutes or so. And there's a fair old stiff breeze. The rain seems to have eased off at the very least. As Neto tries to bring it up towards halfway, took a tumble over Milivojevic, but nothing in it. As Kouyaté plays it back to Vicente Gaeta in the Palace goal. They're back for Klein, Kouyaté, Dan and Van Arnholt. Riedewald and Milivojevic at the midfield two now, with Jordan Ayew on the right, Sahar on the left, and Eze behind Batshuayi. Only goal difference separated these two before their meeting this afternoon. As Semedo clears to halfway, Riedewald out to the right-hand side for Batshuayi. Down the line, looking for the run of Jordan Ayew, who's looking to run at Kilman, and Kilman blocking off the cross, though.
Yeah, did well there in the end, didn't he, Kilman? And again, so just going to need to be careful. A bit sloppy a couple of times there. Just giving away possession to Crystal Palace. And again, you don't want to give them any encouragement to get forward.
Klein with a throw. Couple of yards short of being level with the edge of the Wolves penalty area on the Palace right. Just over 2 minutes played at the start of the second half, and that's a handball against Batshuayi.
Yeah, he must have heard me. Must have heard me. I called it. Yeah, so he was right next to the assistant referee, wasn't he?
If you missed it in the first half, where the press box is here at Selhurst Park, we are right down towards the goal that Wolves are defending now, second half. So I'm pretty much just outside the penalty area. Tomo, a couple of seats down from me, just past the penalty spot.
No, I'm level with the 18-yard box, to be fair.
No, you're not.
I'm here.
That's where I am.
You're a little bit further out, mate. You're another 10 yards outside there.
It's not 10 yards.
Yeah, I'm just inside the penalty area then. Just.
On the angle, maybe. It's because you're swinging round in your swirly seat. Semedo with a throw on halfway. Infield to Martinho, got it back to him. Did well, actually, because it came back to him quite sharply. Pulling it through the legs of Milivojevic, and he was caught. Wolves free kick.
Yeah, I think he was just caught just a fraction before the actual time he's gone down. Semedo, there was just a little kick. Meze, I think it was.
There is Dendoncker back to Kilman. Now for João Martinho. Over the halfway line, trying to play it early for the run of Pedro Neto. It's a good ball. Neto has support here from Semedo. Semedo going backwards to Martinho. Will switch the play to Willy Bolly across the centre circle. Bolly turning and finding Hoover. Backwards to Bolly on halfway. Under pressure from Batshuayi, going back to Cody, middle of his own half. Switch to his left-hand side to Kilman. Over halfway for Semedo. Neto just in field. Here is Pedro Neto. A couple of passes exchanged with Semedo, and now Neto turning. Leaving it for Dendoncker to take over, and he'll go backwards to Cody. Cody's passed it straight to Riedewald. Riedewald getting it back from Sahar. A bit loose from Wolves early in the second half.
I just thought they were just overplayed it a little bit. I thought Neto could have put the ball in the box for me.
It was loose from Palace, and William Jose with a clever flick to Neto. Wide for Semedo, no one ahead of him, having to cut back in field. Coutinho for Kilman. Kilman dropping a shoulder and carrying the ball forward and finding the feet of Neto. Wide to Semedo, over the halfway line come Wolves. Semedo looking back in field and still allowed to continue. Now playing it wide again for Neto, who's up against Klein. Neto trying to drive in field. William Jose was a bit late making a move, and Neto continuing to run, heading back out towards the left and finding Semedo. And backwards to Martinho. Infield to Bolly just ahead of the centre circle. He'll switch it low out to the feet of Kiana Hoover. Infield, clever ball to find Pedence. Pedence taking it towards the byline, now trying to whip a cross in, and they'll be taken comfortably by Guaita at the near post.
Yeah, again, and another example of it. So playing really well, build-up play is good, going all the way to that 18-yard box, getting to an area where we've got to put some kind of delivery in, and it just doesn't materialise. And again, it's something that we've got to work on. We've got to try and get that ball into there and cause a problem for the opposition.
Quite a few on the live chat calling for the introduction of Adama Traore.
Yeah, so look, maybe it might be a game suited for him. Just breaking the lines of Crystal Palace, getting behind them. Van Arnholt has struggled, I think, against him on numerous occasions. Got the winner in the FA Cup as well, didn't he? Coming inside on his left foot.
There is Eze. Now for Milivojevic. Goes down by Neto. To look back in field, just short of the halfway line. Trying to play it down the Palace right. Semedo back in front of Jordan Ayew, but right by his own corner flag, decided safety first and put it out of play for a throw. Not sure why he gets on with things quickly. Eze looking in field. Milivojevic back wide to Klein on the Palace right, 30 yards from goal. Being shown in field, going backwards to Milivojevic, blocked off by Matinho. Willian Jose, Matinho. Wolves are seeing plenty of the ball, but not in any areas where they would want to be.
No, and that's the thing for me. So we had a chance there of having I know it had been a tight ball, but getting it forward to the wide people. So had a chance.
Hoover infield for Dendoncker, and the pressure from Eze found Matinho. Now to Kilman over the halfway line. Only Willian Jose was ahead of him. Semedo out wide. These are some of those times where you kind of, as Neto makes a lovely flick to Semedo, where you kind of feel like Wolves need to just get more bodies up there.
Yeah, I was going to say, look, I've said to you before about, I know that Willian wants to stay in that central position, but sometimes he's got to come across. If Neto's gone down the line, so we need someone else just to hit it off or just to knock it off.
I just wonder sometimes when you've got the wing backs, whether Podence and Neto can just tuck in a little bit more.
Well, remember when Doherty used to do that as well, and that was, touching on about Traore again, that was the thing that created a lot of space for him, by the fullback just screwing inside and just running their fullback away, giving them a decision what to do.
Neto has gone down here. Palace play on over the halfway line. Comes Jordan Ayew down the Palace right. We'll go back infield to Eze. Neto's back up now.
Yeah, he just slipped in it the bottom minute there, just when the ball's coming to him.
Riedewald for Sahar. Back to Riedewald. Out to the left-hand side to Van Arnholt. Back to Jaro Riedewald, going back into his own half under pressure by Podence. There is Kouyaté. Eze back to Milivojevic. He's trying a long diagonal. Kiana Hoover will head it forwards. Matinho with an awkward one out to the right-hand side that was way behind Daniel Podence. And
he had time as well, didn't he? He had time to control it, bring it down. And again, it's a rarity from him that he's give the pass away, because usually technically he's very good.
Palace 0, Wolves 0. Played 9 minutes at the start of the second half. Kouyaté infield to Dan. Looks like the rain is beginning to pour down again as Jordan Ayew gets it on the turn. Kilman trying to get a foot in. Needed a few teammates to be a bit closer to help him out. Comes to Riedewald. Wolves have just been off the pace at the start of this second half. Van Arnholt infield to Wilfried Sahar. Sahar on his right foot trying to curl one, and that's a long way high and wide.
Yeah, so never going to trouble the goalkeeper, was it, that one? But it's something that they've got to try and do a little bit better, Wolves, I think. Got to try and get themselves further up the pitch. This second half hasn't started great for them. So, look, I haven't really got into the dangerous areas for Palace.
Here comes Kilman towards Willian Jose.
That's better.
It's very Raul Jimenez-like as he flicks it first time out to Hoover on the right-hand side, and Hoover driving deep into the Palace half, and his pass was just a little bit behind Dendoncker, who's found Podence on the right-hand side, whipping his cross in. Oh, what a strike by Willian Jose, and palmed over the top by Vicente Guaita. Almost his big moment for the Brazilian.
Well, there you go. So, look, again, first time ball. It's coming in. He knows where to go. Yeah, it's a good strike, good on target. Just anywhere else he's scoring, isn't he? A good ball in from Podence. Yeah.
Couldn't do much more.
No.
Wolves corner, left-footed from the right-hand side this time. Neto whipping it in deep to the far post, but Guaita comes and claims it before it could get through to Dendoncker.
Yeah, you've got to keep it out of Guaita's hands, haven't you? Can't allow him just to come and be comfortable collecting it.
Here comes Klein. Podence tracked him all the way. Foot in, Palace throw.
Yeah, well done. Well done, well tracked.
The earlier game today finished Everton 0, Newcastle 2. Man City leads Sheffield United by 1-0, and it's West Brom 1, Fulham 1. And the other games kicked off this afternoon. Arsenal Man United at 5:30, Southampton Villa at 8. Here's Podence up towards halfway. poked it past Dan, but straight to Van Arnholt, who tries to play it in behind for Batshuayi. Flag has stayed down against him. Willie Bolly up against him. Bolly did really well. And then was caught, it looked like, but will play on because it's a very good clearing pass to find Daniel Podence to drive forwards down the Wolves' right-hand side, deep into the Palace half, cutting back infield. Now to João Moutinho, who leaves it for Pedro Neto. Neto trying to find room on the edge of the box and just got closed down. Too many red and blue shirts around him. It looked promising for a moment.
It did. It's a good breakaway there as well. So he just come into bodies, didn't he, Podence there? Just seeing that chance again from Willian. Jose. Yeah, so he's just straight at the goalkeeper, wasn't it? But again, it'd be nice for him that he's got the shot on target.
There's Daniel Podence, better for Wolves in the last couple of minutes. Podence finding Willian Jose, who flicked it back to Daniel Podence, who rather ran into Cheku Kuyate. Moutinho, though, winning it back. Here's Willian Jose. Clever ball out to the left-hand side to Neto. Sets himself, lifts his cross in. Scott down with the header away. Jordan Ayew there ahead of Neto, and Klein will put his foot through it to clear it to the halfway line. Kilman, what a good chest down to Dendoncker.
Well, to have the confidence to do it as well with a player close onto him.
Wolves are maybe building up a little bit more of a head of steam as Cody tries to play it wide for Hoover, but overcooks it.
he just wants the disappointment in him and his body language. Yeah, he's that used to just finding his target, isn't he? Kuyate down, I think.
I'm looking down towards the Wolves bench. Nuno was back in having a conversation, and maybe all those who were calling for Traore time may be getting their wish.
I think so. I think it'd be the time. Is that on the hour, is it?
Just short of it at the minute,
Yeah,
old school classic Traore time.
Yeah, there you go.
From the first season.
Yeah.
Get to an hour. Here comes AT.
Yeah, you used to get excited about that, didn't you? Traore hour.
It was an exciting time. Semedo having to track back deep here as Klein got to the ball first. Semedo got something on the cross, but it comes through to Jordan Ayew, just outside the penalty area, pulling it back. Eze to strike it and Eze to score. And Crystal Palace take full advantage. They got themselves into room down the right-hand side and Wolves didn't deal with it. They kept it alive and Eze shaped it onto his left foot and drilled it straight. And maybe Patricio a little bit wrong-sighted, definitely wrong-footed, and it flashed past him. And Palace have the lead at Selhurst Park. It's Palace 1, Wolves 0.
Yeah, there you go. A little bit of a breakaway, hasn't it? Just come there, deflected to Ayew, so he just squared it to Eze. Oh, he's just threw a dummy, hasn't he? Just threw in a dummy there, just dipped his shoulder. We've got to be up a little bit. Got to get into him a little bit more. Oh, I think it was Dendoncker. He just dips. Yeah, he struck it well, didn't he? Struck it well. Patricio, no chance with it.
It was pretty straight.
Yeah, I think the power's done him.
It's the first time Palace have scored past Wolves in more than 6 hours of football.
Now you're going to have to push forward now, take a gamble, have a go at it. Traore's ready to come on.
Just actually at the end of what was being Wolves' best spell of the second half, they just sat a little bit deep, didn't they? Didn't get out to close down.
No, just got just a fraction, just a little light going to close down Eze. He's just dipped his shoulder, had a touch, and he's just struck it sweet with his left foot. And again, it doesn't take much.
And conceding first for the 14th time in 21 games this season. Always having to try and come from behind.
Yeah, it's never good, keep chasing.
Semedo on down the left-hand side for the run of Pedro Neto, who tried, I think, to play it off Kuyate, but didn't get it right, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. And saying there may well be some question marks on Rui Patricio, because he was quite straight.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? We'll get Carl Ikemi's thoughts after full time. The chance of a clean sheet has gone. Wolves have to try and score 2 now to win this game. And I think Adama Traore is sat back down.
No, he's still there, just beyond Nuno.
There's a big hole in the way as Ayew takes a tumble. Palace in the ascendancy. I think here will come the change. Can't quite see from the board.
No.
Who it is. I think it's Hoover.
Yeah. So
Traore may well go and play as wing-back, which is something that he has done before. In fact, Semedo might be going over there, and Neto might play as the wing-back on this left-hand side. Have to wait and see after they've defended this free kick to see exactly what this shape is going to be. Milivojevic is waiting to try and lift it forwards. In fact, he'll switch it across the left-hand side for Van Arnholt. Now for Eze, the goal scorer. Getting it back from Scott Dan. Lifting it into the Wolves penalty area. Neto with the header away. Willian Jose brought it down. Trying to find Daniel Pedence on the turn. Getting away from Riedewald. He's done well there, Pedence. Now flicking it infield, but he was just behind Pedro Neto. Ball's going to come through to Dendoncker, though. It is Traore who's going to play it right wing back, and Semedo will stay on the left. And here is Adama Traore, first introduction. Now trying to run on the outside of his man, and he's won Wolves a corner.
Yeah, well, already coming on, starting to set the game to Crystal Palace and make it uncomfortable for them. And again, so that's what we want to see from him. Yeah, I thought they probably just caught Traore a little bit there, but assistant referees just give a corner.
So Pedro Neto stood over it, left-footed from the right-hand side. Dendoncker, Kilman, Bolly, and Willian Jose, the targets. It's lifted into the danger zone. It's headed back across goal. Kilman trying to keep it alive. Dendoncker tried to strike in. It was well blocked. And Palace get it clear up to halfway. And there's a Palace player down, or 2 players down inside their own penalty area. One of which is Scott Dan. I think it was Willian Jose who headed it back into the 6-yard box. Couldn't quite get it goalwards, but he tried to keep it alive.
I think it was it Kilman who played the ball back? Yeah, so we'll learn Zell. Kilman there,
Kilman got across in front of his man and tried to tee it up for Dendoncker.
Well, it's going to be interesting now to see the reaction from Wolves. Are they going to take more of a risk? I say, another brought Traore on down that right-hand side.
Well, we've already seen from Pedence's cross to Willian Jose, he was very close to opening his Wolves account with an instinctive effort. We've got to get more of that kind of delivery. They find themselves a goal down with 64.5 minutes played. Semedo having to turn. Ayew keeping it in on the right-hand touchline midway inside the Wolves half. Zaha for Milivojevic. Cody will step in. Dendoncker finding Bolly up towards Daniel Pedence. Ball's going to come through to Willian Jose, but it wasn't meant to. Pedence was a little bit lightweight on that.
It's just not falling. You've just seen things like that. It's just everything's ricocheting either to Crystal Palace or not going to a Wolves player. And again, so I know you make your own luck. But Crystal Palace has got the bit between the teeth at the minute.
Eze coming forwards again, infield to Zaha, 30 yards from goal, up towards the edge of the area. Wilfried Zaha trying to find room to strike it, almost ran into Traore. Eze will hit it, it's blocked by Dendoncker. Ball rebounds out to the Palace left. Wilfried Zaha first to it, pulling it backwards to Van Arnholt, infield to Riedewald. Riedewald again out wide to Wilfried Zaha, pulling it back infield to Eze, onto Zaha, who continued his run, and he almost bounced off Adama Traore. Jordan Ayew first to the loose ball. Klein backwards to Kouyaté. Palace very much in control at the moment.
Yeah, they are. They're the team probing, aren't they, at the minute?
So half for Eze again on the left. Infield to Batshuayi. Allowed to turn and face up. Blocked off by Bolly. Eze will keep it in on the left-hand touchline midway inside the half and runs away from Daniel Pedence far too easily. Pedence just let him go. And then a tumble by Zaha, a couple of yards outside the penalty area. Gives Palace a free kick in a dangerous position.
Yeah, it is. It's a dangerous position. Was it 5 yards just outside the penalty area to the left-hand side? As Crystal Palace are looking at it.
Dendonker's challenge just got the wrong side of Wilfried Zaha. You've got to feel in this kind of circumstance there, the way that Eze was allowed just to run away from Daniel Podence, you've got to keep tracking him and try and put some pressure on. Otherwise, it's too easy.
Yeah, it is. And I just think that you can't just think, oh, it's not my job or you can't do it. Everybody has got to do that. If that's the case, people are going to run off you and people are going to have opportunities. You've got to be the defender. As soon as anybody's near you, that's the job that you've got to do.
Milivojevic with a free kick over the wall, but straight into the arms of the waiting Rui Patricio. There's another Palace player down who, again, I think ran into Adama Traore.
Batshuayi, I think it is.
He's holding his neck like he's got a bit of whiplash.
Yeah, I think.
Can't really blame him. I think not that it won't be the first and certainly won't be the last to have felt the force of running into Adama Traore.
Another chance from Wolves.
Daniel Podence, I think, is coming off, and Vitinha coming on. Well, can he replicate the strike that he produced at Chorley a week or so ago?
Well, I think that's one of the things that we need to do a lot more. And I've said about Neves being on and shooting. He's shooting from distance. I think that we've got to be doing it. We've got to be looking to have a go. You're just in there, Eze. I know it's just inside the penalty area, but he's willing to have a shot. Got to strike the ball.
It'll mean Neto will go up and play alongside Willian Jose with Vitinha just in behind them. As Dendoncker brings it forwards, trying to switch the play for Semedo, who couldn't quite keep it in. It was fired out towards that left-hand touchline.
Well, he just hit the surface and just flew, didn't he?
We have approaching 70 minutes played.
Well, we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to grab the game, I think. We've got to try to take it to Crystal Palace a little bit more. Can we get any opportunities?
There's Vitinha. Trying to find Matinho, who did well to work it infield to Dendoncker. Pass was cleared away by Milivojevic. There is Patricio. Low out to Willy Bolly. Wolves need to up their tempo.
Yeah, they do. Crystal Palace at the minute now are just defending in numbers, just getting behind the ball, making it difficult for that pass to go forward. Just going to have to do something different. Somebody's going to have to open up this defence. Can we get the ball out to Traore? He's only had that one since he's got his arm up calling for it.
He's in acres of space on the far side. Matinho has it. Across the centre circle for Dendoncker. Now finding the feet of Pedro Neto. Up towards the edge of the area, cutting infield on his left foot. Neto striking it low. Quite the power behind him. Gaita diving down to his left-hand side, comfortably saved.
Yeah, so he didn't really have the power, did he? But again, at least that's better, and he's having a shot there. It just opened up for him. Yeah, didn't get any power to it. Gaita quite easily saving it. But that's what they've got to do. They've got to try and get those efforts away. Got to try and test this keeper.
It's Cody to his left-hand side to Kilman to carry it up towards the halfway line. Turn back infield to Connor Cody. To the feet of Dendoncker, just to the right of the centre circle. Over halfway comes the Belgian. Oh. He was trying to switch it out to Traore, but it was intercepted by Van Arnholt. Eze carrying it forwards. Vitinha trying to challenge. Ball goes infield to Milivojevic. Poking it forwards. Batshuayi. Traore just about got something on it. Bolly infield to Matinha. Now for Kilman. Over the halfway line. Just to the left of the centre circle. Out to Semedo. Midway inside the half. Semedo.
See, coming in and there's nobody there because, say,
they've managed to work it to Dendoncker, who can now find the feet of Traore, who's up against Eze. Traore on his left foot, trying to hang across high to the far post. And Gaita, he carried that behind. That should be a corner.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we got away with that. Because it sounded like he thought the keeper's just collecting there all day from the ball in from Traore. Can this be the thing that's just going to launch our comeback? Oh, short corner.
Corner taken short. Here's Neto whipping it in. It's cleared away to the edge of the box. Semedo tried to get there and he missed it. And suddenly the breakaway is on and Connor Cody is exposed and Palace have men pouring forwards. It's Wilfried Zaha into the penalty area, trying to cut back on his left foot, striking, hitting the crossbar. Batshuayi on the follow-up onto his right foot. He fires in. It's over the top and behind for a goal kick. And what a massive stroke of fortune that is for Wolves, who could have found themselves 2-0 down. Wilfried Zaha did all the hard work, just didn't apply the finish.
No, I'll tell you what, we got away with that. We got caught, didn't we? On the edge of our box, nobody there. And Zaha just coming inside, left-footed, off the bar. Well, he struck it well. But again, it's a big, massive let-off for the Wolves there.
There's Kilman.
That's coming off our corner, though.
Yeah.
So, we'll make sure we don't get caught.
Kilman infield to Cody. Cody trying to switch the play, but he's asked too much of Traore. I think he thought Traore was setting off, and he hadn't done so.
Yeah, just forcing it a little bit, aren't we? Just forcing it, and then the errors are coming into it. We need a spark, don't we? We need something to come from one of them.
Aidan agrees with you, says, don't understand why we insist on these short corners, just whip it into the box. Joining Tomo's campaign to get rid of him. It's Kilman.
It's not a campaign.
Now to Semedo on the left. Semedo, it's a loose ball. It was away from Vitinha. And Zaha now finding Jordan Ayew. Kilman trying to challenge. Semedo trying to challenge and coming away with the ball, and Simon Hooper says, get up to Jordan Ayew. Coutinho for Dendoncker. Now can he find Traore? He can do. And Traore up against Van Aanholt on the Wolves' right-hand side. Numbers are in the penalty area. Can Traore find one of them? He's trying to run himself into the box here. It's a good run, and the low cross is blocked off, and it'll be a Wolves' corner.
Oh, initially did absolutely brilliant, didn't he? Just knocked it round Van Aanholt. Selke's expecting him to dribble it past him, but he just knocked it into the space. And you can see he's annoyed with himself because he wanted to pick that pass out.
Neto with a corner, left-footed from the right-hand side. 4 to aim at. Will go high towards the far post. Willian Jose trying to keep it live. Bolly almost in there. Riedewald just hoofing the ball clear towards halfway. Cody nodding it forwards to Vitinha. Vitinha finding João Moutinho. Neto has pulled out to the right-hand side. Traore is still there. And Moutinho with a poor pass in front of Traore, who was flat-footed himself. I think he was expecting him to play it to Neto. And if it was a pass for Traore, it was far too hard.
I'll tell you what, that annoys the hell out of managers, that things like that. And say Nuno's going to sit down a couple of times where these things have just not worked out. And that will be one of them that he won't be too pleased with.
It's unnecessarily sloppy, isn't it? It's Dendoncker challenging. Batshuayi forced backwards, but he found Ayew. Klein on halfway. Crystal Palace 1, Wolves 0. Quarter of an hour left to play. Coutinho intercepting. Again, it was a poor pass, and Coutinho has won a free kick to make the most of things.
Well, we're going to have to try and get hold of this ball and do something with it, especially in that top area for me. Crystal Palace are happy for us to be playing around the halfway line.
There's Vitinha on the turn. Couldn't find Willian Jose, but he put pressure on. Won it back. Dendoncker to Neto to Moutinho. Out to Traore on the right-hand touchline. Which being shown in field, and he's trying to hold on to it, battling away, and it will be a Palace free kick.
It's just not happening, is it? It's just not happening when you think that we're just getting ahead of steam. Is it a free kick, or as you've seen there, what Moutinho again, another rarity. That's a couple he's done today, giving away the ball cheaply.
Yeah, it almost feels like if you've got Traore there, you've got to get the ball to him quicker. You can't have him facing his own goal with a defender at his back. It's almost a waste. Talking of waste, a strange ball back that Cody did well to clear. Wolves have been too wasteful at times.
Yeah, they have.
Only the one real opportunity that fell to Willian Jose, and Fabio Silva is stripped and ready to come on. Will that be for the new man, or will they be
I would think
throwing an extra body up top?
I would think so. So look, just at the minute, our front line's gone a bit quiet, hasn't it? Just need something in there.
I wonder whether, might be thinking about sacrificing one of the defenders, or maybe even one of Moutinho or Dendoncker, just to do something different in midfield. And Donker challenging, but Jordan Ayew coming away with the ball. His loose one, though, is going to go straight to Adama Traore. Palace's turn to misplace a pass. Traore trying to go bombing forwards down the right-hand side. Attempted crossing, blocked off. And here's a Wolves corner.
Well, I'd prefer that from Traore. So, look, at least he's driving into that area to what's causing Crystal Palace a problem. So here's the substitution coming now.
Fabio Silva, I think he's trying to point
Vitinha.
towards Moutinho.
Yeah.
It is Jean Moutinho who comes off.
So Vitinha and Dendoncker in that midfield area, you would think. Another striker up there.
Palace are preparing Andros Townsend, but he won't come on just yet. As Fabio Silva joins the four already in the penalty area. Neto to try and deliver the ball in. It's a high one in towards Willian Jose's header. Brilliant save. And somehow Palace have got the ball away. Two big opportunities for the new man. And in the meantime, Palace are trying to hit on the counter-attack. Wilfred Zaha down their right-hand side. Semedo back there with him. Semedo getting a very good foot on the ball. Still challenging. Ayew trying to force his way in. Vitinha back there and Patricio just clearing with his foot. Oh, goodness me, that was a good chance.
Yeah, it was. So look, at least that was a full-blooded header, wasn't it? And again, anywhere else scoring. So that's a couple he's had.
Danger not fully cleared here. Milivojevic to Jordan Ayew, 20 yards from goal, to Wilfred Zaha, just outside the right-hand corner of the box. Zaha cutting infield, trying to find Batshuayi on the turn. Semedo scooped it back into his own danger zone. And Vitinha got in there, and Wolves are going to get a free kick for Eze falling to the floor. Wow, Vicente Gaita came up with a massive save to deny Willian Jose, arriving 6 yards out, headed it down.
Oh, it's a great header. Yeah, again, it's hit him on the knee. He hasn't even saved it. It's hit him rather than him saving it.
It's just one of those unfortunate ones, isn't it, where, you know, he heads it straight down, whereas either side, it's an equaliser.
He's done everything right. He's done absolutely everything right. He's headed it down. There's power in it. Gaita didn't know nothing about it. I say he's gone down, but it's hit him on the knee rather than him actually saving it. Again, anything to the side of him, he's scoring. He's had two good efforts, and that was probably the best one of the two.
Batshuayi, I think, was the man who went off there, and Andros Townsend on.
Yeah, Batshuayi is just coming down here just below us.
Here is Neto out to Semedo on the left-hand side, midway inside the Palace half. Trying to cut back in field. Support from Kilman. Kilman not too much in front of him, going to Cody. Now to Dendoncker, right-hand side of the centre circle. Switching the play back to Max Kilman, 10 yards inside the Palace half. Wide to the left-hand side to Neto. Drifts back in field and then was blocked off by Milivojevic as he tried to feed it into the path of Fabio Silva. Townsend being challenged by Kilman. Kilman's done well there, really well. Kept it in, and Wolves have got themselves a throw.
Yeah, because they was just trying to get the free kick there, just wait for the challenge to come in, but Wolves were patient, just stood up.
Nuno playing ball boy. He wants his team to be sharper.
Yeah.
Dendoncker carrying it forwards. He'll play it out to the feet of Traore. Traore again being shown in field. Back to Dendoncker. You see the rain swirling around inside Selhurst Park as Vitinha lifting it towards Kilman on the left. Palace 1, Wolves 0. 10 minutes left to play. Here's Semedo down the left-hand side for Wolves, cutting back infield again, trying to lift it into the danger zone, and Gaita will come and claim it just outside the 6-yard box.
Yeah, that's what you can't do, is it? Just let them off the hook. Crystal Palace just put it into there. It's always going to be the keepers.
Need a little bit of inspiration now.
Yeah, they've got to go. They've got to go again. They've got to try and get something from somewhere. Going to try and have to get a little bit more adventurous in that top third for me. I think have a gamble. He's put that extra striker on. Got to get the supply right to them.
Milivojevic on halfway, trying to lift it over the top for the run of Jordan Ayew, who looks suspiciously offside as he continues to charge forwards down that left. Up against Willy Bolly into the penalty area, taking a tumble, and it's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, get on with it. So.
It's just touched by Patricio to Cody, who found Kilman. Try and run it forwards. Infield to Connor Cody.
Yeah, just need a little bit of urgency now getting up there. With Traore on the ball. At least we're starting to get the ball to him a little bit.
Traore with it. Infield to Den Duncan. Midway inside the Palace half. Back into the centre circle to Cody. 10-yard pass to his left-hand side to Kilman. Out towards Neto on the left-hand touchline. Being shown infield by Klein. Goes to Kilman. Infield to Vitinha. Vitinha turning, looking forwards and just seeing a sea of red and blue shirts. So he goes wide out to the right-hand side to Traore. Traore with 2 players for company. Then Dunker coming, but he's going to knock it past and go himself here, Traore. And he stands his cross up towards the far post, and it comes through towards Semedo. Semedo trying to get some room on his left foot, trying to get a cross in, blocked off. And Kouyaté will just try and dink it clear. Kilman battling to try and get hold of the ball again. He's done really well. Here's Semedo striking goalwards, but comfortable save by Gaita to his right-hand side.
Yeah, so look, again, so the keeper just seems to be in the right place at the right time. Again, with that effort, didn't really catch him with too much power, but again, they're starting to have a test of this keeper.
Riedewald for Sahar. Short of halfway, back to Jaro Riedewald. Joel Ward is being prepared by Palace. And Sahar back to Jaro Riedewald. 7 minutes to play. Palace will look to try and keep the ball for as much of it as possible to protect their 1-goal lead. Jordan Ayew wide for Townsend. Now it's Dendoncker. You can hear Cody shouting as Neto plays it in field to Dendoncker. Back to Cody, who will look up and try and find the feet of Traore. And Traore, can he set off again? Being shown infield this time by Eze. Finding Fabio Silva, who had dropped short. He's trying to thread it through to Willian Jose. And Palace had the numbers back there again. And it's too congested for that type of play, you feel.
Yeah, well, they've got something to hold on to, haven't they?
Here comes Sahar once more. He's caught by Kilman. It'll be a yellow card for Max Kilman and a Crystal Palace free kick. And time to run down the clock a little bit. Daniel Klein going off. Joe Ward on.
Straight swap, isn't it?
Just under 6 minutes left now.
Oh, they've got to get something from somewhere at the minute, haven't they? Again, it's just not happening. But again, it's taking those risks and having those gambles in the areas that you can get you some goals and opportunities to score.
As they stood over the free kick, Wolves trying to defend just inside their penalty area, dropping a bit deeper now. Wolves headed back across the box, and Sahar's cross blocked by Fabio Silva. Willian Jose clearing. Kouyaté on the edge of the centre circle. Allowed time to try and pick out a pass towards Wilfried Sahar, who saves a goal kick, but at the expense of a throw down by the corner flag. 5 minutes left to play, plus time to be added on.
He's just got to get hold of it there.
Yeah, Fabio Silva trying to flick it round the corner for himself. Riedewald, Jordan Ayew. Now Townsend on the right for Palace. A short pass to Wilfried Sahar. Jordan Ayew again. Kilman going in again, and another free kick, and maybe just a warning for Max Kilman. But again, it's so frustrating for Wolves that players like Wilfried Sahar are a nightmare when you're trying to get the ball from them in these kind of scenarios.
Well, they're just going to take the time and just stop and start game. It's just going to suit Crystal Palace now, having that advantage of the goal.
Andros Townsend is pacing this out. I think he fancies having a go here. Wolves have a 4-man wall, trying to protect the route to the near post. Just under 25 yards out on the diagonal. It's Townsend, it hits the top of the wall and comes to Adama Traore, and he's a long way away from where he wants to be. And he's going to get himself a free kick as Wolves will try and get downfield with less than 4 minutes left to play. Going in search of an equaliser at Selhurst Park. Memories flooding back of Diogo Jota striking late here last season.
Yeah. Well, you're going to need a replica of that today. We'll have to try and get ourselves back into it.
Kilman infield to Cody. Now for Bolly. Into the feet of Dendoncker over the halfway line. Flicks it wide out to Traore. Back infield to Vitinha. Across the centre circle for Cody. Approaching the last 3 minutes of the 90. Neto on the left-hand side, trying to drive past Andros Townsend. Played that ball off Ward. Wolves throw.
Yeah, just some urgency now. So trying to get that ball up to there. Trying to get the opportunity to have another go at the goal. You're hoping that they're going to have another chance.
Well, Willian Jose has had 2 big opportunities, both denied by Vicente Gaita. Can he get a third? Traore on the right-hand side, being forced backwards this time. He's managed to turn away from Van Arnholt. He's got Dendoncker wide. He's trying to think about what he's going to do. Instead, he'll lay it in towards the run of Willian Jose, who will settle for a Wolves throw, which he will take himself. He throws backwards.
Yeah, if I was him now, I'd just shout him, just get into the penalty area, get in that central position. Like I said, he's had the 2 best opportunities that Wolves have had in the game.
Neto on the left-hand side, trying to go on the outside of Ward. Neto's low cross. Fabio Silva was trying to control in the penalty area and miscontrolled. Kilman going through and winning it back, though. There's a block by Milivojevic, and Sahar will try and carry it over the halfway line and try and go deep inside the Wolves half as we go into the final 2 minutes of the 90. Wilfried Sahar up against Vitinha, twisting and turning, slowing the play down, knowing exactly what he's doing, Wilfried Sahar. Just waiting for Vitinha to come towards him, takes the tumble and wins a free kick.
Oh, I don't think that's a free kick. I don't think that's a free kick.
And Sahar and Cody are getting involved in a little bit here. It's more Sahar on Cody than anything else.
Yeah, I don't. For me, I don't think that's a free kick. I think they're both shoulder barge for the ball. Sahar's gone to ground.
Sahar is still angry at Connor Cody here, and they've gone forehead to forehead, and Willy Bolly is now stepping in. Sahar was on the floor.
Yeah, but Zahar's gone straight back after Connor Cody again. So he's calling Connor Cody up. Connor Cody went away, and Zahar's gone after him.
Well, again, there's a yellow card for Wilfried Sahar.
And I think Connor Cody's going to end up getting one as well.
Dare I suggest it's a clever ploy as well, because it takes out another minute out of the game. Still, we wait for Palace to take this free kick as the referee now comes and puts his spray down.
Yeah, he's still arguing with the officials, isn't he, Zahar?
Now pacing it out. And I say we've wasted a good 90 seconds. And this free kick is only ever going to be taken short. Palace don't have a single player inside the penalty area. It goes to Jordan Ayew, who will head towards the corner. Neto and Kilman going in, and Kilman again did really well just to whip his foot in. Wolves clear it, but only as far as Van Arnholt.
Got to get up, got to put pressure on the ball.
That's what Fabio Silva did on Ward, but it came off the Wolves man, and we're going to have 3 minutes being added on. 3 minutes to try and find an equaliser. Semedo's header. Townsend, Neto challenging. It's a Wolves throw. Got to get downfield.
Yeah, got to get up there.
Kilman forwards. Milivojevic climbed highest over Fabio Silva, and then a high foot in by Semedo, and it's a Crystal Palace free kick.
Again, it's just stop and start, isn't it? So like halfway through this second half, that's all it's been. Just stop and start. And there'll be no rush to take this either, or it's just going straight into the corner.
Yeah, you know exactly what's going to happen. He's trying to dink it forward. Semedo allows Jordan Ayew to get back across in front of him. It's a Wolves throw, though. We've played a minute of the 3 being added on. Wolves have got to get on with things.
Well, we've got to get on with things. We've got to get up the field.
Went backwards to Kilman, and now Cody for Bolly to try and carry it up towards halfway.
I think sometimes you just got to go a little bit direct, just mix it up.
Traore on the right-hand side, being shown in field here, Adama Traore. And there's a loose pass from him. And Eze can now try and bring it up towards the halfway line, dropping a couple of shoulders, still being allowed to run. Bolly tracking him. It goes wide to Andros Townsend, who will slow the play down once more. Infield, Kilman again, brilliant. To see what was going to happen and got in there. Fabio Silva up to Willian Jose, who's done brilliantly to get hold of it. He's got Traore to his right. Here is Adama Traore. Dendonka's trying to get in the penalty area, as is Fabio Silva. It's Adama Traore being shown in field, but he wants to go on the outside. He's going to cross from deep himself. And then a Palace header got to it. It comes all the way out to the left-hand side to Pedro Neto. Neto back onto his right foot, now crossing towards the far post, too deep. Willian Jose tried to get something on it, and it will go behind for a goal kick, and there are 45 seconds left to play.
Yeah, unfortunately there, Selhurst just, again, he's coming in on his right foot. Neto, he's delivered the ball into there, but just couldn't find enough of a Wolves player just to get anything that's going to cause Crystal Palace a problem.
Well, we will get the thoughts of Carl Ikeme and Michael Kightly very shortly. You can keep sending us your thoughts. Use the hashtag Wolves Live. Let us know what you've made of this. It was much more promising first half. Disappointing second half. Willian Jose creating two good opportunities, both well saved. Rui Patricio couldn't save when it mattered when Eze's strike went goalwards. As Palace win a free kick on halfway, we're in added time of added time. And that's the final whistle. And Wolves are beaten. They've beaten Palace twice this season. It's third time lucky as far as the home side are concerned. Ebreche Eze strike on the hour, the difference between the two sides. Willian Jose denied first when he got on the end of a Daniel Pedence cross with his right foot, instinctive effort, tipped over, and then later on in the game, arriving on the end of a corner, heading down, but Vicente Gaeta was there to save. Wolves' disappointing run continues, still searching for a first league win in 2021. They are beaten at Selhurst Park by 1-0.
Yeah, so look, again, so I know that Williams had a couple of chances, but just got to be better in that top half of the pitch for me. So look, it's not been great. It's not been creative in there. We've got to come up with different things on there. I know Williams come in and it's his first start for the club, but we've got to offer more going forward. So look, we look comfortable in that first start, but never really created that much. And look, once you're on that kind of run, it's always difficult for things to turn around, and you've just got to try and just stick to it, stick to the basics, and try and get something out of it.
Yeah, a lot to ponder for Nuno. They kept a clean sheet on Wednesday night in what was a battling performance, but they needed to follow it up here at Selhurst Park this afternoon, and they didn't do so. And we will look back on it very shortly. The thoughts of Carl Ikeme and Michael Kightly to come from Wolves TV.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money-can't-buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
we can't welcome you to the Wolves megastore at the moment. But our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Full time at Selhurst Park then. Wolves beaten by 1-0. Let's get some reaction from Ikeme and Michael Kightly. Kites, I'll come to you first on this one. That was a very frustrating second half, I'll be told.
Yeah, it was. Team said at half time that Palace were there for the taking, and I couldn't have agreed more. I thought we started the second half, fairly well, but it's a really disappointing result, really disappointing. And all of a sudden, we're looking over our shoulders a little bit.
Ikeme, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I agree with Kites. I thought we started the game well. Thought we had a slappy period midway through the half where we were slappy in possession, bits of slappy play, which kind of led to their goal a little bit as well. They had a few chances, and then we really pushed again. It's a real disappointing result. I'm not sure the performance matched the result. To say that too, but I think the result's disappointing because, as Kite said, you're starting to look over your shoulder a little bit now, and I don't feel that our team necessarily warrants that. I know some of our performances haven't been good, but some of them have been good and deserved more. And I feel like we just need to find that result now to give the lads confidence again of winning games, because we've not won in the Premier League for a while now, and I feel like the results in the next 2 to 4 weeks are important, just to give us confidence, so we don't get dragged into a battle.
Keems, I was just about to ask the same. What's your thoughts on the goal, Keems?
Yeah, it was pretty central, but I feel like he hit it with a lot of power as well. I think Rui just took a step before he struck it. I think that's what made it more difficult for him to get down to it. I think the step to the left as he struck it has made it difficult for him to get down to the side. I've not seen the slow replay, but I thought at the time he took a quick step and then he was just past him before he could get down to him. So I think the steps made it difficult for him to get down in the end.
I think he should save it, Mikey, to be honest.
Well, I just wondered whether he would have probably been expecting it to go across him, and therefore that's kind of why he's taking the step, and he's just gambled, and it's not, and it's gone.
Yeah, you just need to hold your ground. You can't guess as a goalkeeper. Remember Bobby Mims used to say to me all the time, just stay and react. You've got time to react. You'll get there. Just stand. And I think I don't know if it's a guess or I don't know if he's moved for another reason, but just the steps killed him. He might not have got a hand to it, but he might have got a foot to it if he didn't make that step. And in the end, the power beat him, but he's because that little step just stopped his momentum getting down, or stopped him from making a reaction with another part of his body.
The thing that frustrates, though, and it's probably a good one to bring Tomo in on this, and that, we said it in commentary, that where is the player that's coming out and blocking that shot? Why are they allowed to play it across the edge of our penalty area and Eze to shift it onto his left foot and get the strike away? Because Wolves at their very best, when they've been winning games, game after game, and keeping clean sheets, would have had a body out to block it. They didn't. And that feels like a big, important part of what's going on at the moment, because we talk about intensity as well, Tomo, towards the end of games where they're trailing, and it just doesn't seem like there's an urgency about it.
No, so like, it just seems like the minutes are like nothing's going right for us with the way that things are going. And again, I thought we were a little bit too deep when the ball's come out to Eze. I think that by the time we've got there, he's dipped his shoulder, he's give that little bit of a disguise to Dendoncker, which has opened it up then for him to be shooting with his left foot. So thought he was a little bit too deep to start off with. But also as well, when we're going forward, who's going to be brave enough to play that pass forward? Are we going to get somebody to get on the ball in that top third? And that's been the thing for me, is who's going to be brave enough to actually try and create something. And at the minute, and we've all been there when we've been in games where things haven't gone for us. You've just got to stick together. You just got to battle through it. You just got to keep going and make sure that you try and get the next result. I don't care how the next result comes next time. Don't want a great performance. We just need a result.
Do you know
Confidence,
what? Sorry, Keith. Yeah, Mikey. When things are not going for you and you're on a bad run, you stop doing those little things that you did when you were successful. So closing down that little bit quicker and getting that little bit tighter. You know, things go against you. You know, on another day, Patricio saves that. I think he'll be really disappointed tonight. Looking back at that goal, I think he'll think he should have saved it. But as Keems was just about to say there, it's confidence. When things are not going well, it seems like everything's getting on top of you. And me and Keems have been there. We've been relegated from the Premier League. And we need to snap out of it quick, because you look at our next two fixtures, we've got Arsenal and Leicester. If you don't pick up anything from there, then all of a sudden you're in a dogfight. So, you know, we've got the manager, we've got the players to bounce back and deal with it, but we need to do it sooner rather than later.
Which always seems to be like it takes an extra second or two, doesn't it, when the confidence is gone? And that's the thing, where you got that zip when you're confident, passing the ball around, creating opportunities, but just at the minute, it's just not happening for them. And again, it's just having that belief and just trying to go out there and do the best you can. We thought that, okay, we didn't play great against Chelsea, but defensively we did. And I think they'll be disappointed with the goal they conceded today, because they've had a breakaway a couple of times today, but that ball into Eze were too deep for me. Too deep. We've got to be in contact. As soon as that ball's even travelling to him, we've got to be snapping at him. And that's what happens when things aren't going for you. Yeah,
I just echo that as well. When things aren't quite going for you, you lose them sort of games today.
Yeah.
Where you might have drew or maybe even won that game. And it is that little bit of confidence. It's not the fact that they're not thinking, I don't want to close down anymore. They're not thinking, they're not that 1 second quicker. It's just that little bit of confidence, that zip. Playing Wednesday night as well, I felt like they started to tire a little bit, and then they had to try and go for it in the last 15 minutes as well. So them little things go against you. But at the same time, if I take the result out of it, there was a lot of positives to take in as well. I thought Jose was really good. I felt like he'd done pretty much everything right for the header. I thought it was a great save from the Palace goalkeeper, and he looks threatening. And I feel that there were positives to take, even though the result was bad, and the result is important to us at the minute now. We're getting to the stage where we need results. But I feel if you take the result aside, I feel there were positives in the game as well.
Let's talk about those two chances. Michael Kightly, the first one from the crossing by Podence. Again, it kind of instinctive. And much like Carl was just talking about the header, the second opportunity that Willian Jose had is on another day, it's a couple of inches either side of the keeper and he's got no chance.
Yeah, we spoke about it at half-time, didn't we, about putting the ball in the box, and that's exactly what Podence done. It wasn't particularly a great ball, but Jose's movement, gets a yard and gets a good strike on it, and it was a good save. And then, as you said, with the header, it's a really good save from Gaeta. But he does look a good player. I know it's not been a great day results-wise, but he does look a good player. He looks intelligent. I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. I think, we'll be okay, but we just need to, we need some points quick.
Yeah, desperate.
Well, on that basis then, because look, we don't want to go over this too much, and we've spoken a little bit about, the frustration and that Rui Patricia will have, and that the defence will have in the manner of which they conceded the goal and the good chances. There wasn't a great deal else in this game. So if we start to look ahead to the next one for Wolves to put it right up against Arsenal, I mean, you look at the kind of Podence went off, Traore came on, but ended up playing as a wing back, and Neto went wide, and then Vitinha came on to play as a 10, then obviously Vitinha goes back into midfield, and on comes Fabio Silva, because they've got to score, right? The minute they're not keeping enough clean sheets, and they're always going behind in games. So what is the right combination of forward players? And Keames is smiling because I know that's a tough question and you're all going to have different opinions, but that's why we're doing this. If you're there now picking the team to go up against Arsenal at Molineux, what are your attacking lineup going to be?
I think that's the problem. We don't know at the minute, do we? We're not too sure about what combinations work necessarily. I feel like we've got a new component in that with Jose, and I feel like he'd be an important factor in it. But I suppose because we're not free scoring from all over the pitch, or especially in the front three, it's kind of it's difficult to pick at times. I feel like Neto will start most games, but sometimes we need more from Podence, Traore possibly, but we need goals from everywhere. Vitinha, I don't think he's a starter necessarily, but he needs to do more when he comes on. So I don't know what the right combination is. I felt like Nuno was just trying to get attacking players on the pitch at the end to try and change something, but you can see he's just desperately trying to change something and get a result and trying new things out, because it's not always clicking up top.
Mikey, do you know what it is as well? We look more comfortable with three at the back, but by doing that, we're taking up a space that we could have up front. So if we went four at the back, we could stick another attack-minded player on the pitch. But where we don't look too great in a four at the back, we're having to take caution a little bit in games and not go sort of gung ho. Where if we was four at the back, we could play with Podence, Neto, Traore, and Jose all together. But I'm not sure we can do that at the minute because of how we've been defending. The last couple of games we defended okay. I thought we defended okay today. There was nothing really in the game. Just got to try and get those forward players on the pitch because they're the ones that score the goals and they're the ones that are going to win your games.
Well, I think we're very much in agreement that Willian Jose would probably start because he's looked bright.
He's got to. He's got to start.
Yeah, he's your main physical one. So I guess, Tomo, the real question is, who do you put either side of him?
Against Arsenal in the midweek, I'd go probably Traore and Neto alongside him for me. I'd say I know Podence has done okay, but I think that we've just got to go and have a go at Arsenal. I think that we've got to. So we've got three at the back. We've got that security in playing the three at the back. I think we just got to go and have a go at them. Say Traore, Neto, and say Jose. I think
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I think also to add, I think not having a natural left fullback is taking another component out of our attacking players. To me, that's not comfortable going forward on that side. So there's another element of us losing something going forward. I feel like if we can get Semedo back on the right side and getting forward, and even maybe, I don't know, tried Kahuva on the left side, because I don't feel like Kahuva's brings much attacking presence at the minute, yet he's still a young boy. So I know he might not be natural on the left, but he can still concentrate on defending. But because wasn't getting forward too much anyway, we're having two full backs that are not really attacking, because Semedo wasn't really comfortable on the left. So possibly if we can get Semedo out right. I know we had the young boy on the left. I can't remember his name. Sorry, but the left back who come from the under-23s onto the bench today. I don't know if he's ready to play first team football, but just a bit of natural fluency down the sides, just for attacking purposes. Because as Kites was saying, we're not looking comfortable enough to play the four at the back.
Yeah.
But we do need to try and get more bodies going forward at the same time.
I think that when we do play three at the back, I think our fullbacks are that important to us. And at the minute, we're just not having anything out on them flanks. When Traore come on, at least he's offering that little bit down that right side, but he don't want to play there. You can tell that he doesn't. But it is so important that we try and get our fullbacks forward, especially when we're playing the three at the back, because we've seen it through the years that Nuno's been here, instrumental to the way that we play. That we create more, we open up teams, and I think that a lot of our attacks have come from those wide areas.
Mikey, sorry, I think Neves has to play. For me, he's our best centre midfielder, and I think we missed him today, so I think he's got to play.
Well, there will be an awful lot, I think, that will be discussed over the coming days as to what that lineup will be when Wolves next take to the field against Arsenal at Molineux. Before that, the under-23s are in action away at Stoke tomorrow. Weather permitting, I will be there to bring you coverage of that as well. It's a pretty cold weekend, and Wolves got the cold shoulder down here at Selhurst Park. Beaten by a 1-0. My thanks to Andy Thompson, Carl Ikeme and Michael Kightly. Stay safe, look after yourselves, stay warm. Tune into Wolves TV tomorrow, and we'll see you.